cops have duties. Next thing I know, I'm downtown. I get locked up with the clowns. So I called up my lawyer for a little bit of help. I said, do what you can, please. He said, are you kidding me? Just plead the fifth, they'll let you go. And he said, don't you know you have rights, cops have duties. You have rights, cops have duties. And that's why I'm here right now. I know it's kind of stupid, but you have rights, cops have duties. Say it with me. Don't think twice. Don't think twice.
Waving proud in the morning light, a beacon shining through the night. Stories sewn in every thread, a symbol of the lives we've led.
It flutters strong in the winds that call, standing tall when shadows fall. From mountain peaks to oceans wide, Old Glory flies with endless pride.
Red for the hearts that never tire, white for the hope that lifts us higher, blue for the dreams that always stay. Old Glory leads the way through storms and skies, both calm and gray. Its colors never fade away, a tapestry of battles won. It carries all the work we've done.
It's more than fabric, more than seams. It's woven deep into our dreams. With every star and every stripe, it fuels the fire that lights our life.
Red for the hearts that never tire, white for the hope that lifts us higher, blue for the dreams that always stay. Old Glory leads the way.
Through storms and skies, both calm and gray. White for the hope that lifts us higher, blue for the dreams that always stay. Old Glory leads the way.
Red for the hearts that never tire, white for the hope that lifts us higher, blue for the dreams that always stay. Old Glory leads the way.
Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Hello there. Hello, Strictly Cycling. How are you doing? Thank you for dropping in. Really do appreciate it. I've been watching some of your videos in the past, and I really do like it. So please keep them up. Bud, good to see you. Mama Bear's not here. She's still not really doing much on YouTube, other than, well, she was defending herself last night against some idiots. And that is all I'm going to say on that. I don't want to get tied up with it. I am fuming over what's been going on. But I'm not going to be getting too involved at this present moment in time, because believe it or not, she's got a lot to contend with, and I'm keeping it like that. Okay, so just change the side. You, ladies and gentlemen, you are the judgment panel. And if you want to come up and speak to me, have a chat regarding these little videos I'm going to be showing. I've only got about 5, maybe 6 in total. I've had to break it down because Impact Media are no longer producing a lot of stuff. What they have said is thank you very much in the past for the last 12 months, 18 months or so. This is going back, you know, a while. Ignore the 2 days. The most important thing is here with the copyright is we hereby offer full permission for our footage to be used by other channels while we have it up. Okay, so all credit to Impact Media. Please go over there and please subscribe, even because you're going to get more information about what they're doing, and occasionally they do put a few things up that haven't been seen before. But as for actively 1A things, they're not doing it anymore. Look, doesn't mean to say they haven't got the cream of 1A, because they've moved on to other things and petitioning their government, which is still under the First Amendment, but they're not doing the videos as such. Okay, so this is the first one I want to show you.
San Diego Police Department headquarters.
Right, hang on a second. Forgot to start straight away. So this was one of the early ones from Impact Media. Yeah, just type in the chat what you think of it as you go along, please.
I am at the San Diego Police Department headquarters. There are about 15 of these stations.
Please ignore the comments at the bottom. On the screen, that is.
No, I'm good, thank you.
Why are you out here?
I'm filming.
Why?
Because I'm filming.
You need to move along.
What's that?
You need to move along.
I need to move along?
Yes.
No, I don't.
You're gonna get hit.
Hey, I'm not blocking the driveway at all. You can't give me unlawful orders and directives.
I got it. All right.
Can I get your name and badge number?
Yeah, what do I need?
I need your name and badge number first.
All right.
You have to suspect I'm committed a crime in order to ask for my ID, but what's your badge number?
You can't be filming over here.
I can. I'm on public property, filming public property.
You can't be filming over here.
You're gonna have to get your supervisor. I'm on a public sidewalk filming. I'm absolutely allowed and protected on my First Amendment.
You can't be filming our gate and stuff like
That is incorrect. I've gone viral on YouTube over these videos. When people try to stomp on the rights, we are allowed to be here. It is protected under the First Amendment. and you have to identify yourself with your name and badge number
I'm
when you're
Sergeant
asked.
Marshall, ID 7070.
Okay. I need you to call a supervisor if that's the order you're trying to give me.
Oh, here's my captain.
Okay.
How are you?
How you doing?
Good. What can I help you with today?
I'm just filming. I'm a citizen journalist. I'm doing a story on the police department.
What's a citizen's journalist? Can you just explain that to me, please?
Freedom of press. It's under the First Amendment. We are all allowed to
Okay.
become citizen journalists.
Okay. Okay, is there anything that you need in particular?
Absolutely not. I wasn't even engaging you guys at all.
Okay,
What's your name and badge number again?
Laura McLean, 5119.
Okay. I wasn't engaging you guys at all.
Okay.
Okay.
No, and that's fine, but we get curious when we have people that are filming.
You are
Hold
okay.
on, can I finish?
Yes.
I let you finish. We just get curious people out here filming us, wanting to know what's going on. So
Mhm.
that's why we're contacting you to find out if you need anything or if anything's going on. That
I
we
do
to
not
know
need
about.
anything.
You don't need anything?
Absolutely
How
not.
long do you plan on being out here?
I have no idea yet. I honestly was almost done with leaving before she started being a psycho and giving me
Well,
orders.
She's not. She's
Okay,
she's-
but you can't get out and give unlawful orders and demand ID if you don't have any articulable suspicion of me committing a crime.
Okay, sir, we can ask you for ID, but
Right.
there comes a point where you either want to show it to us or
Yeah,
you don't.
and I
Let-
declined,
let-
and then she
let
told me to move along.
Let me finish,
Okay.
okay? I didn't interrupt you. I'd appreciate it if you don't interrupt me, okay? Is that fair?
I will agree to that for now.
Okay. So yes, we can ask people for ID, and it just depends on the situation if they want to give it to us or not,
Mhm.
or if they're lawfully have to give it to us or not. But we can ask anybody.
Absolutely.
Hey, what's your name?
But
You know,
she
what's
can't
going on?
spout unlawful orders
Okay.
of a citizen.
Well,
Absolutely not. And there's no way you're going to convince me otherwise.
Did I say anything about any
Okay,
lawful?
but you haven't one time
Okay,
said,
I'm sorry. What's your name?
Mike. We'll go
Mike.
with that one.
Okay. You keep interrupting me, so apparently you're not going to let me finish my sentences.
But you didn't interrupt her when she's giving me unlawful directives.
Okay, because I was on the radio putting out our location here.
Okay.
So I wasn't listening to what she was exactly saying.
Okay, she
Okay,
told me I
sir,
had no
I'm
right to
talk-
stand here.
I'm talking.
It doesn't matter. I'm allowed to talk over you if I want.
Okay, you just want to be rude. Then.
It's not about that. You
Okay.
you guys are trying to bully me and give me unlawful directives. She told me I can't be on a public sidewalk, which is false.
Say that.
You said I need to move along and I cannot film here.
You can't be filming over here. You can't be filming over here. You can't be filming our gate.
That is
We don't want you
complete.
filming here, yeah.
You cannot want, but I can. This is my right. I am exercising my right. I am allowed to exercise my right.
What have you done today besides nothing?
There is no directives that will be lawful that you can give me to tell me to move on. That just can't happen. It will not happen.
Well, I was saying you needed to scoot back because the car was going to hit
I
you.
absolutely don't. They had plenty of room to get in. Nobody was in threat of being hurt or run over. I'm this, like, look how far I am away from these vehicles and yourselves.
Okay.
I am not a danger to anybody, but you guys are treating me like I'm a danger
Mike,
to you.
Hold on 1 second. Let me finish, okay? Another car was trying to come in,
And I was not in the way.
Mike, let me finish.
You don't, hey, you're not talking to me like you're my mom.
Well, you're acting like a child, so yes.
Okay, go away. You're dismissed. You're dismissed. This fool thinks that she could direct everybody to not be on public property. That's great. So that was a captain and refused to correct her sergeant, and then wanted to talk at me like a child, acting like I'm not allowed or permitted to interrupt anybody, but I am absolutely allowed to I am permitted to interrupt. Just like I'm permitted to film from a public sidewalk. Let's see if this guy behaves any differently. Looks like he knows better, or she knows better. She's like, yep, I'm moving on. I'm sure she's been there before. So the funny part is the police treating me horridly is.
Okay, so a couple of comments already made in the chat, which I've highlighted. Body language wasn't good. He held his ground, simply exploring his First Amendment rights. Absolutely. I can't and I won't disagree with anything that you're saying, Strictly, because he was. But no, that is policing, not just in the, over in the States, but the same in the UK. You know, they act more like Karens when you refuse to bow down to them, and you turn around to the cops and say, what, why, who, what reasonable articulable suspicion do you have that I'm committing a crime, standing here filming everything I can see? But as I say, that was one of the first ones that Impact Media put out. And I've got to admit, sometimes they have good interactions, sometimes they have bad interactions with the police. But how do you think the public react? That's a good one. Now, there's no public there, other than, well, if you called the ladies in blue public, I don't think they are in any way, shape, or form. But they're there to do a solemn duty, which is to enforce law, not feelings. And how many times were they told, oh, by the way, you can't film here, you got to move on. You're not allowed to. Of course he is. Was he anywhere near them? No. What was he doing? Not a lot. You know, wasn't doing anything illegal. And the captain was just as bad as the sergeant. The captain did not like being told by a civilian what to do, or didn't like being shouted over or anything. Ridiculous. Okay, so let's see what this is very short. It's only about 21 seconds long, but remember the public coming up and speaking and talking and to Impact Media.
In public, there's no such thing as needing permission, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I never get my picture taken.
Yeah, in public, it's free reign.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks. I learned something new.
No, thank you for asking.
Okay,
You have a
God
wonderful
bless
day.
you guys.
Absolutely.
You know, I've got to do this, Solon. Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, it's you. Are you sure?
Oh, my bad. I just turned it off so I wasn't breathing or something in the video. My bad.
No. You automatically get cut off. You're fine.
Okay.
How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. I like this judgment panel thing. And if I just want to make a comment about that previous video that you did. It's like
Please.
those I guess female officers or whatever. It's like
You had the sergeant and
they're
captain.
right. It's even printed on the door, but it's like that dude is filming America's Finest, right? It's printed right on their door, and they're like, "What are you doing?" And then they have to represent that they're America's Finest, and what they're doing is like they're not even self-aware that they're doing the total opposite, or they have a different idea of what America's Finest representation actually means.
It means whatever they see it as in their little station. If that means
Absolutely.
people's rights, that's what it is to them. Not what you or I or any sensible person would look at, you know. And as for them, as I say, the sergeant was nothing short of a tyrant.
Absolutely. It's like it cracked me up because it's like as soon as she goes, "What are you doing?" and he goes, "I'm filming," and she's like, "What are you filming?" And just my thought went straight to the words. Well, I'm filming America's Finest, right? That's
Yeah.
that's what you're representing right there. Is you're going to show everybody what, like you said, what they believe America's Finest is, not what it actually is. Because even that sign, when they were like like if you break the law, is that all of that stuff is just policy. Don't park here isn't a law. That's some
Exactly.
employee policy that they're trying to, it's some policy that they made up and they try to put it upon people that aren't employees. Because
Hmm.
to me, that's just employee policy. Because it's not a law. You can't put a sign up that says, it's almost like that same thing. You can't put a sign up that says there's no filming in here and then say it's a law and we're going to do all this bad stuff to you because you're not obeying the sign. Well, why would I obey a sign? You're supposed to obey
Well,
the law.
but he wasn't right. Okay, that sign said something about police vehicles. For starters, he wasn't a police vehicle. He wasn't any sort of vehicle, and he wasn't on their property.
Right, saying improperly parked, right? And it'd be towed away. It's like nothing about that sign even really like it's for police business, and any improperly parked car will be towed at the owner's expense. It's almost like it's that same kind of thing. Who makes that? That's some
Mhm.
policy. Who enforces that policy to claim
Exactly.
we're gonna steal your property and tow it off at your expense because
You you parked.
there's no law. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's just weird. Sorry about that.
Strictly is says their job is to protect and serve. Okay, I'll accept that. I'll come back to it. Not harass. Well, they see themselves as protecting themselves and serving themselves, and of course they're allowed to harass innocent members of the public if they don't like it. And it's the same in the UK, folks. This is why I entitled it First Amendment and UK filming. Wait until we get to the Karens and police interactions. Well, we've done one police interaction. There's another one later. I just want to say thanks for MamaBear. I know you're not too good. I know you've just hopped in and you've pinned the link for StreamYards over in your channel. Thank you so much. Sit back and relax and chill, because this is not going to be one of those slagging off drama written whatever. Paulin is a really nice guy, and I'll let you know now some of the things he says is from an alternative point of view, not necessarily his own, if that makes sense. But he'll tell you when that there's a difference.
I should like put where I can view the chat or something because I'm just like having a conversation with you, like you said, just arguing the argument, I guess, or just like this. I just come on here to like, yeah, it drives me up the wall that people step out of their car, come up on the camera, and then go, we don't want you filming us, but yet they always walk straight up to the camera, going, they don't want to be filmed. It's amazing.
That's a Karen for you. Put a Karen in a blue uniform and you get Karens and Darrens in blue, you know, at the end of the day. Okay, so the second one, which was only 21 seconds long, unfortunately the audio wasn't brilliant, but I'll play it again for those who may not have caught it.
In public, there's no such thing as needing permission, though.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I never get my picture taken.
Yeah, in public, it's free reign.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
thanks. I learned something new.
No, thank you for asking.
Okay,
You have a
God
wonderful
bless
day.
you guys.
Absolutely.
I loved that member of the public, that woman. She didn't realize that it was, you know, fair game if you're out in public to have your image recorded, whether that be on a still camera or a video camera. She doesn't want her face anywhere, etc. But she learned something and walked away quite happy. You do get the occasional decent citizen who is willing to learn new things about the Constitution, you know. But hey, Not always that good. Right.
It's the same. It's the same as that, like the sign, right? When it's like, hey, there's a sign on the door that says you can't record in here, but then it's like that hypocritical thing that if you try to tell them, well, you see all them cameras in there, they're recording. But then they go, well, it's you who can't record. And it's like, well, what makes me different than anybody else? It's like, what makes that person or that guy standing outside of that building of the bad person that somebody would find a problem with that when there's cameras all around those people, but they only see that camera. And, you know, like you said, that person, like in that accepted it, right?
Yeah. I mean, the woman just accepted it and walked off. Wasn't the problem. She was really happy with the exchange.
Yeah.
Okay, so a little announcement I do want to make. My other half, Mrs. Reaper, Goddess of Love, is now at 940 subscribers. And I have seen the way that she is doing things. It's absolutely fantastic. I take my hat off to her because in the last 28 days, she's gone from somewhere in the region of about 200 all the way up. Absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't gone over there already to Mrs. Reaper, Goddess of Love, I will make sure that somewhere I'll get her link out so you can have a look at it. Her channel is all music and chilling, relaxing, no drama, etc. So thanks for the update. She's going to surpass me very, very soon. Okay, cheers, Strictly. I'll sort that out as soon as I can. Give me 2 seconds and I'll sort it. In the meantime, I'll do that. There we go. I've got to log into her account to sort things. It's great, isn't it? All right. I would say just talk amongst yourselves, but there's only all of me here. There you go. Okay. There's Mrs. Reaper's channel. If you wish to go ahead, please click on the link and give the subscribe button a link, a title. You know, she hit 900 earlier on, and she's got another 40 in the last couple of hours. It's fantastic. I wish this channel could grow that way, but I'm a little bit more controversial.
Right. And she is the goddess of love.
Well, that's just my opinion, which I back 100%. I'm just a reaper, you know. I've got I've started a new channel over there on YouTube, which deals with music, but it's regarding supporting people who are going through mental exhaustion, mental health concerns, people being bullied because of the way that they appear or because of their hidden disabilities, and also to pay respect to all the unpaid carers that do so much for people in their own household. And without their support, people wouldn't get through what they need to get through. But that's a totally different channel. And I'm only mentioning it so that you're aware of it. I don't expect it. You know, if you want to go over, have a look at it, it's the Grim Reaper music channel. Just put that in the search in YouTube. You'll find it. There's about 17, 18 people that are subbed. or made a connection, as the latest thing is, which surprises me. Anyway, moving on.
So I just have to ask you this real quick. Did I hear right? Did you say Grim Reaper Music Channel? Just put that in the search bar?
Yeah.
Okay. I just didn't know if I heard that correctly.
Yeah. It's the it's, if you like, my sister channel. If that's the right politically correct thing to say. I'm building the music and videos up on that. Occasionally I do go live, but as I say, that's in the early stages. My wife has over 600 videos, which totally amazes me. But anyway, right, getting back to tonight, and I'm going to show you a 4-minute clip, just over, which I've taken from Impact's archives. And this is a non-typical police interaction, although partway through they sort of say the right things. I'll let you work out whether they mean it or not.
He's coming to you.
Good morning. I thought you were talking to me. Were you talking to me or? Oh, okay.
What's good?
How you doing? Yeah. So what's going on? Why are the folks here? Were you guys called? In regards to these guys? Damn.
Oh my gosh, it's a weird with the camera in here.
Are we all? How you doing, man?
I don't know who this guy is. He just popped up. It's very strange. He just popped up.
It is.
I'm gonna call the police. I got very threatened by you, sir.
I don't know. I might have to call on you, man.
No, I'm calling on you.
The flag is very suspicious.
Actually, I wouldn't mind more female police officers here. I don't know what the third one was. Please enough.
So are these guys in trouble or what's going on?
Sorry?
Are they in trouble or what happened?
No one's in trouble
Okay. All right.
right now. Well, if I'm in trouble, I hope you'll wear handcuffs.
How you doing?
I love your glasses. I'm so jealous. You want to trade?
You are just more beautiful. Looks good on you.
My feminine side. Have a good one, man.
All right. KC.
What up?
How you doing?
Chilling. What's good? What's good?
I heard this is a welcoming town. At the moment I pop up.
That's why I came up here. I wish I'd known I'd have more friends.
Guys, is it okay if we talk outside real quick?
You going outside now? What happened? Bring me my body cam.
You're asking us or you're ordering us?
I'm not trying to lure us. Like I said, I like women, sir. She can lure me all she wants. These are I have to reject. I'm sorry. But I have business to do in there. So yes, sir. Can you explain something to you guys? You guys already know. Okay. We're here to basically keep the peace. Okay. We're not here to violate anyone's rights. We're not here to violate anyone's First Amendment rights, which is obviously what you guys are looking for. That's not what we're here to do. No. That's a bad assumption, sir. But what I will say is, I think people, you guys are all wearing masks. You're going into the post office. You're making people feel uncomfortable.
Is wearing masks illegal?
That's not what I said.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to figure out where you're saying
I'm
we're
just
disturbing
saying
the peace.
You guys can understand that how you're making people feel uncomfortable.
So
right?
on that note,
we're gonna
do you
leave.
understand that there's some neighborhoods that you guys
leave.
walk into and your uniform makes them feel just as uncomfortable?
Okay.
So again,
Surrounded by 4 people with guns.
Okay.
Fine.
Scary.
okay,
I'm
we're gonna
very
leave. We're
uncomfortable.
gonna leave. We're just
Okay.
here to make sure. We're just here to make sure that the peace is kept and that nobody gets hurt. We were told there was a confrontation. It sounds like everything is fine, so we're gonna leave. Okay.
Right.
So I would just ask that you guys, you know, obviously people wearing masks, carrying cameras, all that stuff, it makes people feel uncomfortable.
So does people wearing guns and.
Okay, I'm not gonna debate with you guys. You guys are old enough to understand what's going on. So,
Okay.
we're out of here.
But you can't deny your uniform actually makes more people uncomfortable than this. Now I'm telling you guys, we got here in the middle of chaos because they got here about 5 minutes before we did, and apparently they walked in and police were called immediately. So you know, this guy's scared the shit out of him. Apparently, the big muscles. All right.
Big muscles. Okay. How can I put this? What did the coppers do, right?
Left.
What? Left? Left?
Yeah, they they left, I guess, right? He said, we're going to leave. If they left, that, I guess that's the one thing that they did right, is they left.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't have been there in the first place. They should have walked in and walked out. They didn't need to stand around.
Right. They didn't need to have that goofy conversation that they felt they had to have. I mean, because the first thing that, well, them getting there may have been, they have to come when they're called, I guess, just because, I don't know why, but when they're like, you're only here to provoke us to, basically to provoke the cops to doing something, you know what I mean? When
Yes.
they were just there doing, and the cops are trying to claim, no, your only reason you're here is to get us to violate you, is
Yes.
why you came here.
Yes. Now, this was about it's got to be 2 years ago now, this, when they, this particular one that I've taken these excerpts from. And to date, as Strictly says, it's not illegal for ICE to wear masks. Of course it's not illegal. There's no law which says that you have to. Even ICE agents have the constitutional right to protect their faces from being identified, their Fourth Amendment. And Strictly also agrees with you that they left, the coppers left. I have to agree. That's the only thing they did right. I found that the sergeant was condescending, tried to be intelligent or witty, didn't quite work. Didn't like the fact that facts were given back to the sergeant. He didn't like it. And right from the start, where you saw the female copper's face, and when he turned around and said hi, and she said, I wasn't talking to you. I don't know. Is that any way to talk to a citizen who says hi? It's slightly different over in the States than it is over here, because here the police are crown servants, not public servants. Whereas over in the States, they're public servants. Officially. Because they're paid by
I was going to
taxpayers.
say, it's kind of like a tongue-in-cheek statement anymore, like everywhere. That's like, oh, because, yeah, wait till you tell them, you work for me, right? You're an employee. And the first thing they'll say is they'll try to deny that they're actually an employee.
Yeah, if they were over here being paid that way, then you would, it'd be right to turn around and say you're nothing but government scrounges because you're getting tax money for doing nothing, allegedly. Whereas it's indirect because the government pays for it through the crown, through taxes, but we also pay our local councils an amount of money for the police services, which is absolutely ridiculous. But that's beside the point. I've got to apologise. Some of the chat is appearing in sync on StreamYards, but not always. So apologies that it's not coming up any quicker. Thank you, MamaBear, for dropping the link for the music channel. I do appreciate it. It's nice to know that you're in the background as well. So let's get back to this one. I mean, seriously, have you ever watched Honor Your Oath? And his videos where he stands on a traditional public forum and holds a sign saying "God bless God bless homeless veterans."
Is that a question? Because yes, I've seen it.
Yeah, if anybody hasn't, then please go over to Honor Your Oath and watch his videos. He is so calm. The way he talks, it is unbelievable, right? And many a time he gets his argument is, if you're going to trespass me, I will leave because I don't want to break the law. And then he challenges the trespass afterwards through the legal system. But I was watching a few things that he did recently that he's put out, where he's gone to a traders market, the market where an organization pays rent for the area of public land, park or something, and they try to trespass him from that because he's holding his sign up. It's got some great videos out there. And the police interactions are very strange, to say the least. But I'm digressing away from what we've been talking about.
Well,
so,
I have a question for you. Are you talking about like, do you agree with that, or do you disagree that people pay for that forum or whatever, they rent out that public space, and if he goes there, do you think that's good that he does that, or you disagree that he does that?
Okay, so regardless of who pays, right, or for what reason, if it is public property, it is still public property. And he, like anybody else, has the right to go there. He has the right of access, right? All they're doing is paying for the area that stalls are put on. These are people who hire, right? And nothing else. They don't have any rights. They can't refuse anybody admission if they're a member of the public. And their argument is, you can stand there all day. You can pay the $28 or whatever it is that they charge at a particular time, and you can do it. But we want your money. Yeah, he's not asking for money. He is soliciting, but he's soliciting for goodwill. That's it. So, yeah, all right. I agree with what he does. I don't disagree with anything that Jeff Gray does. I think he's a brilliant creator, and I think he's got it spot on. You know, and I've watched him for a very long time, and I think he's very, very good. He's one of the few auditors that isn't there for clicks and views. You know, he puts the good out and the bad out. Interactions with everybody. So yeah, I mean, I can't fault the guy.
It's just weird how people fault somebody for like holding a sign. And they put signs up. It's like that first one, how they put a sign up and going, police business. If you're improperly parked or towing your vehicle, hey, you didn't read that sign. And they hold everybody accountable to signs. But that dude just stands out there on the sidewalk with the sign. And somehow that's the one that's offensive to everybody. All them other goofy ones aren't. But
Mm-hmm.
that one seems to be offensive to people. It's like, it
Yeah,
boggles my mind.
that's the phrase I was thinking, like a flea market. Yeah, farmers market they call it. That's what they call it, a farmers market. But yeah, they don't have any rights if they hire the area to put up stalls and charge people stupid amounts of money for it, you know. And as to turn around and say things like he's stopping people from enjoying the stalls and putting them off from buying things, it's a load of codswallop. And it's everybody's right to, in my opinion anyway, to voice their opinion and to solicit goodwill, but it's also everybody's right to turn around and say, I'm down on my luck, I'm homeless or whatever, can you give us can you spare $1 or any change over in the States? Yet there are city or organizers, audiences, which say you can't panhandle. But the Supreme Court over in the States has already said that asking somebody for help is free speech. So all of
Absolutely.
those
Yeah.
audiences are unconstitutional.
Hey, because really, right? What's the difference in asking for, let's say, money than asking for a ride? Man, I got a flat tire. You stick your thumb out. There's really no difference in asking for help and to claim, well, since that's monetary, we're going to say we're going to make an ordinance against it. But it's just asking for help. I mean, bottom line is, and that guy, from what I've seen, people will try to give him money and he's not really there soliciting. It just brings out within people their, the negativeness, I guess, within themselves against, you know what I mean?
Well,
Because
I mean, there are some people, and I'm not going to take this away from anybody. There are people who genuinely want to help, and he always turns around and says, "I don't take any money. I am not homeless. I'm not destitute. I'm simply asking for people to bless homeless vets." That's it. Now,
right.
I don't want to get into too much of a sidetrack, but we tend to do this anyway. So I'll come back to the video shortly, folks. Anybody who asks for help should get help, in my opinion. There should not be any homeless veterans at all. I think if a service person has come out of any of the armed forces, they've served their country, whether that be in the front line or whether that be in a supply hut or whatever, right? They have served their country. They have signed an oath to serve their country. So the country owes them, in my opinion. The government owes them. And
Absolutely.
it should be that, you know, like, sorry, yeah.
I was thinking that it's actually like in that aspect, like over here, right? The USA is even legally bound as a contract of that it's a corporation. It's not a country. So in these people going off to these wars and stuff like that, they're actually serving a corporation, right? The people within that corporation on that ladder of them joining into the corporation and becoming an employee of the corporation is that when you said the corporation owes them, see, I agree with that. As in, like me driving down the road and somebody going, hey, you owe me because I did all of this for you. It's like, you didn't do none of that for me. You know what I mean? It's not that I won't help them, but if they try to put that on me and go, you owe me because I did this, it's like, no, this is what you really did. And somewhere, then it wouldn't be like much of an argument, because I don't think that there should be homeless vets. And I think that the corporation is their lack to take care of them is what
Yeah, but the corporation,
puts them in that.
yeah, but the corporation is the government, and the corporation is funded by tax payments. So,
Right.
I mean, I get where you're coming from, and I see where you're coming from, but not everybody will see things the same way as you or I would do.
Right.
You know, from a bare bones point of view, I never want to see again what happened following the Vietnam War, shall we say? You know, just give me 2 seconds. I'm just going to hit the channel.
Hey,
Hello,
how you
sir.
doing, Grim Reaper? It's me. I came up under a different account just as a kind of a precaution. Not that I'm worried about you, but I don't necessarily trust StreamYard. So if they get access to this account, it matters not.
No, it's fine. Don't worry.
Okay. If I could say, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say, you're more than welcome to come up. StreamYards doesn't do anything. It's YouTube. You've got to be wary of. You've got to stay within their terms of service.
Okay. Well, I wanted to touch base on something you were talking about a few minutes ago, you know, with people asking for help in the streets. Now, I'm not against it at all, but I can tell you situations. Oh, let me give you one situation where I'm wondering what your opinion is on this. So I've been in this situation numerous times, many years ago when I was younger. But I'd be on a subway train, and the guy would come onto the train. He would say, "Excuse me, everybody. You know, I'm in a little trouble. My wife has cancer, and I can't afford the medicine, and I'm wondering if you could help me out." And then he proceeds to say, "This is what I want to see if you agree with or disagree with. You know, and I don't want to have to go out and mug anybody if I can't get the medicine. I got to get this medicine for my wife."
A couple of things spring to mind. Initially, one, it could be true that the situation is real for them, and they are asking. Okay, but secondly, by turning around and saying, "I don't want to do something else," well, you don't want to do it. You're asking for help. Okay, fair enough. But then it's down to the individual to decide whether they want to give them any money or not. And I don't think it should be held against them if they decide not to, or held against them if they decide to.
But you don't
You know?
see it as possibly an intimidation tactic? Because I can tell you now, I've seen the look on women's faces when they hears this. He's not the only guy I've heard say that. It's a different story, but same end result. I don't want to have to go out and commit crimes to get the money. I mean,
It's pulling on morals and heartstrings.
well, what about this scenario? Now, I'm not against this either. I'm just curious as to whether you or not. It is now illegal. It once was legal for people to panhandle at the intersections. They'd stand out in the street, wait for the light to turn red, and then walk over to the cars that are waiting for that red light to turn green, and they ask them for money.
Okay, so panhandling is free speech. The way that you do it may be against local audiences. I've got it wrong again, but you know what I'm talking about. Or local bylaws, easiest way of putting it. Because technically you are stepping into the roadway, which is a traffic infraction. And there's a danger you could get knocked over by a passing scooter or electric bike, or you with me? There's always that possibility.
Yes.
But if you stayed in the intersection, right, and you stayed on one side, right, I believe you're not. All you're doing is asking for help, support. That's it. You
Yeah,
know?
what they usually do is they wait on the sidewalk. When the light's green, they stand on the sidewalk so they're out of the way. And actually, what I didn't add into this is what they usually do is they have like a bucket of really dirty water and a squeegee. And they start without even asking, they start washing your window. They're looking for a handout. Like they wash your windshield. That this doesn't happen anymore, but it used to.
Yeah.
And then when the light turns green, they step back on the sidewalk so they're off the roadway.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if you're off the roadway, there shouldn't be any issues at all. But I'd say they could be, and a lot of people do. A lot of local governments, townships, etc., do produce these bylaws which say you can't do this, you can't do that. It's this, and it fits, but they're not impeding free speech. It's when they turn around and say it's illegal for you to panhandle. Full stop. All right, that's wrong. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
And that's against the Constitution. Mama Bear, there is always help for cancer patients. As a cancer patient, I've been afforded help. Okay, and Muxter, I like it when somebody asks an opinion and then says they don't like it. Typical Muxter.
Wait, if I could say something also, during the last videos, the one guy was complaining that somebody was complaining that the guy was wearing a mask. Isn't it funny how you're going to be questioned as a civilian for wearing a mask when we have ICE officers running around with masks on? So it's okay for law enforcement, but it's not
Yeah.
okay for a civilian?
Yeah, but hang on a second. This was long before ICE.
Yeah,
Right.
okay.
But it still doesn't distract, as I said, that they have a Fourth Amendment right to protect themselves from being forced to identify, etc. And they're
Well,
not police. They're not police. They are federal agents, and they're acting on behalf of the federal government, which oversees everything. So anything they do, technically speaking, has to be constitutional, right? If they do something which is unconstitutional, then you have to go through the courts.
Well, I had a
And that is
situation
the problem.
about I don't know, right after 9/11 where it was wintertime. It's like 25 degrees out. I was in Manhattan on my bicycle and I had a ski mask on, to keep myself warm. I got pulled over by a cop. So the two cops get out of the car and they're like, "Where you going?" I said, "Well, I don't have to tell you where I'm going. I'm out for a bike ride." Why you stop me? "Well, you got a mask on. And after 9/11, can we look into your backpack?" I said, what would you be looking for? One of them set a bomb. I said, "Here, help yourself." You know what I mean?
That was
Anyway.
your mistake. You
Well,
shouldn't have.
it didn't bother me because I didn't have anything in the backpack that was illegal. You know what I mean? I just wanted to get back on my bike and leave. I didn't. So they went through my backpack and they saw there was nothing there, and they said, "Okay, have a nice day."
Okay, so first of all, they couldn't force you to take the mask off because it would be against the Fourth Amendment.
They didn't ask me to take the mask off.
No. I'm saying, and secondly, it's against the Fourth Amendment for them to go into your backpack. However, if you give permission, you are surrendering your rights under the Fourth Amendment.
Yes, but like I said, I didn't have anything illegal on my person,
Yeah,
or in the backpacks. So I figured I needed to get out of there as quickly as
Okay.
possible. I was in a
All right,
rush.
I'll ask you a question then. A police officer stops somebody in the street, right? They're carrying a backpack. They're walking along. They've got a face mask on, right? The copper has police officer has the right to ask them, but should the person voluntarily give up their Fourth Amendment rights?
I think that's up to the individual. I mean, I think if you're in a rush to get someplace, it might be quicker to just let them look, and then they'll find nothing, and you'll be on your way.
Okay, so certain circumstances, you think that if you're in a rush, then you should be, it's perfectly normal. And this is what the problem is with the police. They take that as being their right to force, because the next thing they do is to say, we're detaining you because you're not, because you're standing up for your rights. And this is what the problem is. I see not enough people stand up for their rights. Now, Mama Bear's pointed out that there is a county in Long Island that made it illegal for everyone to wear a mask.
I
And
believe
it was,
that's Nassau County in Long Island. I
yeah,
believe. Don't-
and that's what she's put. That goes against the Fourth Amendment.
Well, how about this? It's a little off the subject, but just I want to throw this in there. So last May, the city enacted a new law, and this law states that when a bicycle goes through a red light, they're no longer issued a traffic citation. They're issued a criminal citation, of which they must appear in court for that. And if they do not, a warrant will be immediately issued for their arrest. Now, the reason for this is immigration enforcement. Apparently, there's like 65,000 plus guys on electric bikes. And there's some girls as well, riding
Yeah.
around New York City 7 days a week delivering food. And many of these people are in the country illegally. So what's happening is most of the people are here illegally. They're running red lights. You work by how many, you get paid by how many deliveries you do, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's okay. So
It's
they run
speed.
red lights.
Yeah.
And if you ever watch any of my videos, you'll see me running red lights constantly. That's what I do.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're not paying the tickets is the excuse. So that's why they have made it a criminal offense. So what happens now is if they appear in court and they're in the country illegally, and the judge deems them or ascertains that they're here illegally, they're immediately remanded over into ICE custody. Now, why do I get caught up in this? I ride a fixed gear bike. I don't have a big giant backpack on my back. I ride around with a backpack that's so you can put 8 liters inside of it. But I get
Mhm.
caught. It hasn't happened to me, but it can and likely will. So like you could be in a SUV or a car or motorcycle, whatever, and if you run a red light, you're just going to get a traffic citation. That's it. This is what's
Okay.
happening
Yeah.
here in New York City now.
Yeah. It was cool. Yeah, but you see, you've got okay. Over here in the UK, it's a criminal offence. Okay. Doesn't matter what the vehicle is, it's a criminal offence. All right. So technically, you can get a ticket for it, and you have to pay it. Failure to pay, then you go to court, or you can go to court and argue the toss. Right? Okay. Now it's similar, right? You're saying these are the motives, okay? But at the end of the day, it's not down to the court to decide whether they are there illegally or suspect that they are. My understanding is that the sitting judge would turn around and say, if you are found to be here illegally, you may be deported.
Yeah, well,
That's my understanding, the
they're
way it's worked.
the
But I could
immigration
be wrong.
enforcement is really out of hand. And I read the headlines of an article. I didn't read the article, but apparently there was a UK tourist here in America. I'm not sure where they were, probably New York City, and they were arrested by ICE, even though they had a legal visa, and they were held for 6 weeks by
Well,
ICE
yeah. Yeah,
before
that's
they were
because they're
finally
on.
released.
Yeah. And unfortunately, that happens. But you know what? They're still protected under the Constitution.
Yeah, but they
Hello.
had to spend 6 weeks in the custody of ICE. That must have been a nightmare for them.
Yeah, I agree. But there again, they can still sue as
Yes,
a
they
result.
should be awarded compensation for that. Absolutely.
Mhm. Hello, Muckster.
How's it going? So, can I tell you what I just heard? I heard the backpack story, that doesn't bother him, even though it happened 20 years ago and he's still talking about it. But because he it didn't affect him, for fuck the Fourth Amendment, let the cops do what they want. But now this bicycle thing affects him, so now it's a big fucking deal. This guy doesn't care about rights. He just cares about what affects him.
Well, I disagree with you wholeheartedly.
I'm sure
I
you
knew
do.
I had the option
You
and the
also claim
right.
you came up here looking for opinions, but you don't look for opinions. You want to say, "What's your opinion on this?" And then you're like, "No, because actually the guy did this and that."
All right, well, you know what? Listen, I'm going to step down off the panel because I think you're looking for an argument. I'll be back in the chat.
Oh my
Don't
God! You
go.
can't stand a little
Don't
feedback.
go. Oh man, this is the
Holy
judgment
shit!
panel. We need that kind of person here. He needs to stay because his words
Guys,
still matter.
okay, can I just clarify? I need to put somebody else's teeth in. Right. Mama Bear was saying it's illegal. It's illegal for everyone not to wear a mask. I think that's what she means.
Illegal to what?
With that in Nassau County, I don't
But it's
quite.
illegal to not wear it.
Yeah, well, she's put an amendment in not to wear.
Oh.
I mean, if you're going to wear a mask, you're going to wear a mask. You know, I mean, we did it for a couple of years worldwide.
Yeah.
And it was the only time I ever knew you could walk into a bank with a mask on and not cause alarms. You know, so technically you could walk into Fort Knox with a mask on and they wouldn't say anything other than if you didn't have one, you need to put a mask on. Makes so much sense. Hindsight is a wonderful thing, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, I don't know what went on there, Mutzke. You know, if somebody wants to come up and put their viewpoint across, I've got no problem with that. But at the same time, if they are challenged, then they shouldn't take it personally.
Yeah.
You know, it aids to discussion, as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Paul and I have had conversations, but, you know.
Yeah, it's not always about agreeing or it's an echo chamber. It's like, I could totally agree with what you were saying, but I also knew just within myself the argument that he could make himself. But the problem that I found in that judgment panel is that he bailed as quick as he did, giving up his backpack. And it's like, you don't have to always leave like that. You don't, you know, you gotta
but that's his Fifth Amendment right.
Right.
Yeah, but this is England. No, but yeah, I mean,
doesn't matter. It's the same principle.
if you believe in what you're saying, then you go, no, dude, that's not what I'm talking about at all. You're totally wrong, and here's why you're wrong. You know, it's like you don't go, I'll go, oh no, I'm going to run away because somebody pushed back at me.
Okay, strictly your choice as to whether you want to walk into a government building, whether that be a post office, right, or a police station. They're both public buildings, right? You've got a right to go in. You go into a bank that's a private building and they can put a sign up saying anybody wearing masks is excluded, right? They can ask you to leave. But in a government building or of any description, right, they can't do that because it goes against the Fourth Amendment. So if you're wearing a mask, they can't tell you to take it off, right? If you choose not to wear a mask, then that's your choice. You still got that choice. No one's taking that choice away from you. But as I just mentioned a few years ago, the directive was to wear a mask.
Yeah.
And you had to argue the toss when you didn't wear a mask because of health problems. So that's how I say it's coin a phrase. It's arse backwards. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Can I tell you what annoys me about you, Grim? Seriously,
Yeah,
for
go
what
on.
for the time that I've been listening, it's that you understand the American Constitution better than 70% of Americans, and that fucking bothers me.
Well, that's your problem, not mine.
I know, and they'll say the Constitution's only worth the paper it's written on. You know what I mean? Because it
Well,
takes
it's not
something deeper than that within people.
Yeah, well, I could argue and agree with certain aspects of that, but that's beside the point. The Constitution is only as good as the people allow it to stand for.
Right.
Yeah.
So if the people don't stand up for it and exercise their rights properly and refuse to give in because it's quicker to get from A to B by complying with what somebody had told you to do in so-called authority, that again is your choice. However,
Well,
it makes it so much more difficult for those who are standing up for their rights.
Well, you know, it's kind of like I'm pretty sure it's Ben Franklin who said something along the lines of those who give up liberty for
For comfort.
security
Yeah.
deserve neither.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Yep. That's the way I see it, you know. During COVID, I wore a mask when asked upon entering a building.
Yeah.
But your choice was not to walk in wearing a mask. So if you, in theory, had any viruses, you are risking other people's health. However, if you were exempt, and here's the funny thing, you could actually, you didn't have a certification to say you were exempt, right? Because that would be, again, against, well, you don't have to share your medical information with anyone that's non-medical.
There you go.
You know, and that's under HIPAA law. Strange, I know so much, but other people know so little.
Yeah.
Well, you know, we can't forget about the Bill of Rights either. We can like talk about the Constitution, and that's good too. But there is such thing as the Bill of Rights.
Well,
Okay.
I include the amendments in the Constitution.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, Strictly, please don't go here. You don't think, question mark, any of you are aware of the Gestapo like NYPD here in New York City? Correction, I do. And I probably know more about NYPD than most people living in New York City, because I don't watch things with my eyes closed and I don't have blinkers on. They had a policy, they still have a policy, which says you can't record in a public building, namely a police station. And
Even
they
though the
enforced it,
Yeah.
right? And an auditor took them to court and he won it. He is the only one who can. However, they're not enforcing it for everybody else, and it won't be until it gets to the Supreme Court, if it ever gets that far, because they've already put in, and they're still waiting on the appeal, right? 2 years down the line, right? Because they don't think it's right that this auditor won the right to walk in. How dare someone challenge our policy? It's not law, it's a policy.
Can I challenge the idea that he calls them Gestapo, though? Because, you know, people throw those kind of terms around, and the Gestapo would do things like stop a guy for no reason just because they don't like the way he's dressed and tell him to show them what's in his backpack. Oh, wait.
They do.
I know I'm being facetious because this guy just told you. He just told you. He just gave up his rights, and because he didn't care, go ahead and look in my backpack. But now that the cops are doing things he doesn't like, now they're Gestapo. Before they were just who cares?
Okay.
Yeah.
Look, it doesn't matter whether it's New York City, whether it's
Right.
Chicago. If you question anybody in a uniform that is working for the state or the local um, town hall, or whether it be federal, right? You will be treated like somebody who, in the majority of cases, that someone is challenging their authority.
Yep.
There are a few police officers that understand what the Constitution is. What my issue is when they go and explain to somebody they're perfectly in their right, it's under the First Amendment, and I use this word, unfortunately,
Yeah. Yes. I
to
agree.
appease the aggrieving party somehow. But they're saying, unfortunately, because they know they can't do anything about it. And that, in their opinion, sucks.
That makes them Gestapo. I think it's just in the mentality
Oh
of
yeah.
them going, unfortunately, they have rights where we can't just beat them
Yeah.
down because we would.
Papers, please.
Okay. All right. Okay. I've got to ask this one question. When you got stopped and you gave up your Fourth Amendment for them to look in your backpack, you ran the exact same risk,
Exactly.
right? Because even though you gave up your Fourth Amendment right in order to get from A to B quickly, right? That if that copper was a bent copper or a corrupt copper, whichever way you want to look at it, they could have done that anyway, and you'd have been stitched up. Then you would have had a problem. Let's, you know, let's get things right. You can't say one thing but mean two different things at the same time. That does not make any sense to me. It's not logical, and I use a logical mindset.
Can I make an argument on his side of why I kind of understand in some way of why what's bothering him isn't him understanding the hypocrisy in his statements. It's that why they're turning something in some way that he may do. It's that same kind of thing, and him not understanding, I think, that hypocrisy, but that's just my opinion, that why they're making that a criminal offense now instead of just some kind of a moving violation or a pedestrian thing, that they're making it criminal so that, you know, and that being a criminal thing against your record. And then, you know what I'm saying, that they changed the rules on that, that it never used to be that way, but they're doing it because of, and claiming it's acceptable because of the immigrants or the illegal people, and how that, and I think that's really his argument that's bothering him. But he maybe he didn't understand it.
Strictly's going to come up again after. Hang on a sec, guys. Strictly's going to come up in a few minutes after he's finished teaching. Great. There is one golden rule, right? And it's my rule. It's nothing to do with Constitution. It's just the way I like to run panels. I have a hearing problem. I have to wear hearing aids. I cannot hear when two people are talking at the same time because I missed the tones of the voices. So I respectfully ask only one person speak at a time, right? And if there's three of you wanting to talk at the same time, please give way to the person talking. When they finished, then please speak. Right? So that's my only rule. Say whatever you like, as long as it's within terms of service. I don't care. Right? If it gets too personal, both go back. All three of you go back into behind the scenes for a 5-minute
the basement, right?
Stim bin. Right? And that's not because I'm a tyrant. There's only one tyrant up here. And I'm not saying who that is. Am I, Muxter?
Can I just say on what Fallen just said? I agree. When he was talking about them making that a criminal offense, I thought, what the hell's that all about? You know, my problem is not with him having the problem. My problem with him is he chooses which problems he cares about. Because if they don't, and this isn't, I shouldn't just say him because this bothers me about so
There's quite a
many.
few. Yeah,
Hey, I wasn't done talking. What are you doing talking over me?
Yeah,
I'm allowed to. Sorry, did I not mention that?
yeah, you're the only one.
But yeah, then and this is true of like so many Americans and probably people around the world. They don't care unless it's affecting them personally. Then all of a sudden, it's a tragedy.
Yes, they don't look at the bigger picture. We have an illegal migration problem, right? Now, to me, this is quite simple. If you go into a country illegally, you're breaking the law of that country. Therefore, that country has the right to push you back to where you last came from, right? Because you shouldn't have been allowed to come over, right? That to me is law. It's black and white. If you come in through the legal way and you start abusing the legal system, well, that could not necessarily mean that you're breaking the law, you're bending the law, in which case the law needs to be strengthened. Does that make
You know what?
sense?
You know what? 'Cause I've heard the, I watch a lot of British stuff, and I'm always amazed that you do have such an immigrant problem because I think you can't just walk across the border to get to England
No,
unless
you
you're
got
Irish.
water.
It's like
And even, you still got water between Ireland and England, right? Unless your name happens to be Jesus, allegedly. Right, strictly, you're welcome. But you know the rules, and you muckster.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, I have a couple of other scenarios, situations that I've encountered with the police. Decades ago, I was walking down a side street in Brooklyn, and a one-way street, walking with the direction of the traffic would be flowing, and all of a sudden, there's a cop car coming up the street in the wrong direction. Late, very late at night. And the cops stop the car, jump out with their guns drawn on me. I put my hands in the air. I said, "What's going on, officers?" They come over, they frisk me. I don't have anything. They said, "You fit the description of an armed robber." There was a liquor store that was robbed by gun a few blocks away. Well, it wasn't me. They put me in the car and had me stand in front of the liquor store. And the person that was working in the liquor store, had they nodded their head yes, that was me, that I was the person that robbed them, I'm getting locked up. Luckily, they said, no, that's not him. Another time, I'm walking down the street in Manhattan with my girlfriend, and a cop car pulls up. They jump out, hands up in the air. What did I do? Well, there was somebody pulled a gun out in a bar in the area here, and you fit the description. So my girlfriend starts flipping out, yelling and cursing at him. I said, "Listen, quiet down. I don't have a gun. We weren't in a bar." So they frisked me. So I didn't have a gun, let me go. In New York City, let me say something to you real quick. So the way I see it, most people who go into the police academy intend on being good cops, protecting and serving the public, which is what their job is. But here's the problem. Police officers work in teams of two. So when you graduate the academy, you don't get assigned with another graduate from the academy. You get assigned with somebody that's been on the force for a number of years. And if your partner happens to be a bad cop, what happens when your partner shoots somebody who only had a pen in their hand, and the guy that did the officer that shot the guy says, "Well, I thought it was a gun." Well, what are you going to do as his partner? If you say, no, clearly you could see he had a pen, you're in a world of crap. So now you become a bad cop too, because you're going to back the bad cop. The way I look at it, here in New York City with the NYPD, anything I can do to de-escalate the situation with them, I'm going to do. You guys handle it however you like. That's it.
And
Right,
I
because I'm thinking
understand.
that same way. Oh, sorry, I jumped in real quick. I was thinking that same way. You know, hey, you have the right to handle the situation the way you want to handle it. And that's totally on you. Because I'm just glad that you didn't say when you were talking about that, going, you know, the way I see it is if you got nothing to hide, you got nothing to worry about. And it's like, but for the rest of us, is like, then when we go to handle it our way or whatever, it's like if more people in that aspect weren't concerned about just themselves personally and worried about the collective, that we would all stand up and argue it no matter what situation we were in. But we all have the right to handle the situation how we choose to handle it.
Oh, no,
We can't.
absolutely. The way
Yeah.
I saw that situation was I was in a rush and I wanted to get away from them as soon as I could. Say, here, take a look at my bag if you'd like. I don't have anything in there. They looked in the bag and they let me go on my way. I don't have any
I
problem with them
so
looking in my
no.
bag. If I haven't done anything wrong, I know that. Now, you said something a few minutes ago, like, well, they could have put something in your bag. Why would they have? What would be the motive? I cooperated fully, more than I had to.
You're the one that brought that up.
Okay, can I answer a couple of points? Firstly, how an individual decides to deal with any situation with the any police force. Don't go with the same YPD, whether it's Michigan, whether it's in London, Manchester, right? Anywhere, right? You make that choice. That is your choice. That's your right to choose, right? Whatever the reason is. But one thing is for certain, right? The majority of the police force is corrupt,
Yes,
one way
I
or
agree
another.
100%. That's why I want to de-escalate with them.
Yeah, but regardless whether you de-escalate, you are still run the risk. But you make that choice, right? The
But
point I was making was when you handed over your Fourth Amendment rights, then you are running the risk of a corrupt cop forcing the situation because they haven't made their quota of arrests, right? Whatever that quota is, right? It's like when they issue citations, they're generating money and they have a quota. Although they will deny it, they still have a quota, right? Meter maids have exactly the same problem. They have to hit a quota of the number of tickets that they issue. I was watching a video of a cop a few years ago over in the States who made ghost stops to issue citations. And one of them was one of his best friends, right? Because all they did was run it. And in that particular time, that police force had some police had body worn cameras, some didn't. He didn't. He got away with it for a long time. He's no longer with the police force, by the way, right? The worst thing that a copper wants is their actions caught on camera, whether that be their body worn camera or whether it be a bystander's, whether it be an auditor's, whether it be anybody. They don't want it to be caught on video at all, because that way they're going to stay squeaky clean, right? And the number of police forces in small towns over in the States that I've seen all fired, and the seniors have been hauled before the courts because they have for dereliction of duty, etc., right, is unbelievable, right? Whatever is at the top filters down. And your point regarding going through the police academy, the majority of new officers applying, right, don't need to have the same intelligence level that they needed 40 years ago, right? They don't need to have anything other than an artistic tendencies to apply
You
because
understand
they
why that is, though,
would,
right?
because nobody wants to join the police force
That's right.
who's got a sense, that's got a
That's right.
brain cell,
That's right. So
right?
I want to make clear that the incidents that I described to you guys were before they were in the '90s, before the camera technology, before the smartphones came out. So today,
Mm-hmm.
when you're particularly in Manhattan, I don't care where you are outside. You could be in the middle of Central Park. There's a camera looking at you. But back then there wasn't. So you have to look at the number. How many people do you think in America were falsely prosecuted where a police officer lied and testified against the perpetrator or the alleged perpetrator, and they were put in jail and they're innocent? I don't want any
And that
problems with the cops. I'm not looking for any trouble with the cops. I don't want to run into a bad cop that slipped some cocaine into my pocket, and now I'm trying to. Who's the judge going to believe, me or the cop and the prosecutor?
You
that
keep
was the point I was,
contradicting.
that was
You
the point I
contra-
was making.
You're contradicting yourself, though.
Well,
Well,
let me give you.
he's using time. Oh, sorry.
Let,
It's just like it's like
Hang on.
using the timetable because he could say that he de-escalated the situation by letting them search his backpack, but some of us, like there's other people say he escalated it because now he has no recourse because once you get consent, no matter what they do, you've escalated it out of your hands of having any kind of defense of that consent. That
well,
anything they find, it
let
was
me
consent.
let me tell you another
Remember the rule?
situation that I've had. A
Wait,
couple of situations.
wait. Before you move
Wait,
on to more situations, can we deal with this point?
please.
You,
Yeah. What?
you,
One point at a
you,
time.
you, you have said a couple of times, I go ahead and let them look because I got nothing to hide. But then you follow that up talking about bad cops planting drugs. You're making their job easier. Here, look in my pack. The cop looks in the pack and goes, "Oh my God, you got a quarter ounce of cocaine in here that somehow fell out of my pocket."
Okay, you missed my point. The main reason why I did that was because I was in a rush and I figured I could get out of there quicker. Number two, once again, what would be the motive if I let the cop look in my backpack? What's his motive? So
You
now
gave
let
up
me let me
consent.
let me explain. Let me explain to you situations where I was nice to the cops and they were nice to me. So about 10 years ago, I got pulled over for running two red lights by an unmarked car. Two cops in an unmarked car. So gave them my ID, and a woman on a bike pulls up. She starts yelling to the cops. I said, "Listen, man, I ran the lights. They're just doing their job." Do you know what the cop did? He wrote me
Give
one
you a warning.
ticket, and he intentionally misspelled my last name, so now I don't have to pay the ticket. So I don't understand why in
Can I
certain
ask you? Can I ask a question, please?
Sure.
Do you carry a blue line flag?
No.
Do you agree with the blue line?
No. Why would I?
I'm only asking
Here's
because you're coming across as a mixture of you support them because it's easier, but you don't support them because, well, that's the general consensus of most people. And it does contradict. And that's the reason why I was just a little bit confused. You see?
Well, listen. Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. But here's another situation. Another time I got pulled over for a red light a number of years ago, right? So I was very nice to the cops. I didn't get snotty with them. And you know what the cop said to me? He said, "Listen, I'm going to give you a break." At that time, it was $180 for running a red light. This is before that law that I stated earlier, many years
Mm-hmm.
before it. "I'm going to give you instead a ticket for not having a bell. It's only $50. Well, so actually being nice was a good
That's a
thing.
corrupt cop. That's a corrupt cop.
You're right. You're right. That's why I don't like to deal with the police. I want to get away from them as soon as I can because most of them are corrupt.
Yeah, but if you're getting away with a lower charge, it means like walking into a shop, buying something for 1 cent, right? Because it's on a list and you can do it, it's legal, right? And walking out and you saved yourself $700, right? In this situation that you're talking about, by being nice to and sucking up to this copper and doing what you're supposed to do and all the rest
I
of
didn't.
it.
No.
Let
I
me
didn't
finish.
suck up.
Please
I didn't
let
suck
me
up.
finish. Please let me finish. Right? I said by handing over everything that the copper was asking, right? You got away with a lower fixed penalty, right? Now, if you had been driving a vehicle, for argument's sake, right? Are you meant to? Do you legally have to give over your driving license, proof of insurance, and registration, or do you have to show them? Second question: when a copper asks you to wind your window all the way down, do you have to do what they say, or are you legally entitled to roll down the window so that you can hear them?
I'm going to answer those two questions, no and no.
So why do you? Because it's more convenient.
Once again, going back to the backpack story, the way I saw it, if I let them look in the backpack, I don't want to be late for this appointment. So let them look in the backpack and I'll be on my way.
Okay, I'll give you another one. You're in a state where marijuana is not legal, whether that be medical or otherwise. However, CBD flower is, right?
Okay.
In this, I can't remember the state at the moment off the top of my head, right? But there was it went through to the Supreme Court because there is no difference between the smell of CBD and THC flower.
Now,
Right?
with the state that you're
And
talking about,
please let me finish. I hate it when people interrupt. I put them backstage while I finish the sentence. Right. This went to the Supreme Court and it's gone through to the Supreme Court a couple of times for these states, right? Where it is, where we've got this caveat. And they've turned around and the Supreme Court has said that if a police officer smells or states that they smell cannabis, then they have the power to search the vehicle on reasonable suspicion. Now, in this instance, all they had was CBD flower. And it was confirmed when the tests were done. There was no THC content. It met the state requirements. However, it still smelt. And when you smoke CBD flower, it smells the same. Okay?
Right.
But what they were saying is that that still gives the coppers reasonable suspicion to do a search, not bring out a dog, but to do a search, right? Yes, if you go in other states, the Supreme Court has ruled that there isn't enough suspicion, reasonable suspicion to do a search, and to do so would be against the Fourth Amendment. Now, that's where you've got a double standard, right? New York City, if I remember right, I think it's legal there in that state, right? I'm sure it is.
you want me to tell you? You want me to tell you? I'll tell you the exact law in New York State pertaining to marijuana. It is recreationally legal in New York City, in New York State.
Okay.
And in fact,
Yeah.
in New York City, the only place you're not allowed to smoke marijuana is in a public park. You can stand in front of the school, police station, government building, but not in a public park. And that's the law.
That's a law, but again, it's questionable whether it's constitutional, right? But until it's been tested, you won't know for definite, right? However, all I'm getting at, you're referring to New York State and you're not looking at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is all 50 states.
I believe 37 states marijuana is legal on one form or another, whether it's medicinal, medically legal, or recreationally legal. I don't know
Yeah.
which ones. But I'll tell you this. I want to say this. If I'm
Federally, it's still
arrested,
illegal.
if I'm ever arrested by a cop for anything, whether I'm guilty or not, I say one word and one word only: lawyer.
Well, actually, what you say is I'm invoking my Fifth Amendment until such time as I have taken legal advice. That is the way that you would say it. Because you
Well,
have
that's
to
a
stipulate.
sophisticated way to say it. I just got all I got to do is
No,
say it.
no. That is a legal definition. Believe me, I know.
I agree
Right?
with you. I'm not just disagreeing, but I just say lawyer. And I'm going to get the same effect.
It does,
No.
yeah, but legally speaking, it doesn't. They can still. You had the right to remain silent, and you should do that. You should never volunteer any information to any police officer because you don't know during that traffic stop, during that bicycle stop, during when they put guns on you for whatever reason, you don't know how much information they're going to use against you for what you have said or not said. And until they read you your Miranda rights, they can't use anything that you've said beforehand, technically.
But they will, most of the time, they will try to.
Well, I didn't say they wouldn't try to. The prosecution is the prosecution. But what I'm saying is, right, we know, or well, I know, right, down to you as individuals if you don't, but, and I suggest you look it up, a police officer is not there to help you. The only reason why a police officer is on the beat is to protect property and the corporations. They're not there. They have no legal duty to protect any citizens, which has come from the Supreme Court.
Well, then they're doing false advertising because on the side of every police car in New York City, it says to protect and serve.
So it doesn't say protect and serve what? Or
Oh, I
who?
would assume that's supposed to be the
You
public.
don't assume. Don't assume, because that makes you an ass.
Yeah, I've heard that one. It makes an ass out of you and me.
Yes. So don't never assume anything. A copper is not there to protect you. A copper is there to get as much information on you so that they can charge you.
Can I tell you
or
about
arrest
another
you.
situation I had with the
Oh
police?
my God.
Many years ago, I was on the New York State Thruway, heading up into the Catskill Mountains. Long story short, it was
Please.
getting ready to rain. So instead of doing 55, I was doing 155. When I got off the Thruway, you got to pay a toll. So I gave the girl a $20 bill. The toll was $1.80. And she says, "Oh, I don't have any change. I'll be right back." And she leaves her little toll booth there and walks like to the main building. And I'm like, this is odd. 3 or 4 minutes goes by, and the New York State Trooper pulls up, pulls right in front of me.
Hmm.
He gets out of the car. He says, "I clocked you at 155 miles an hour about 30 miles ago." So I was like, "Oh, I didn't know the bike." I'm lying. I didn't know the bike went. I didn't know I was going that fast. I know I was going over the speed limit. So
Oh, geez.
listen to this. So he frisks me, right? I'm telling you a true story here. He
Yeah.
he
I'm just
he
cringing.
frisked me, right? Well, on the inside pocket of my leather jacket. This is long before marijuana was legal. He missed. I had 7 grams of marijuana. He missed it. He didn't catch it. So he puts me in the police car in the front seat with cuffs on in the front, and he takes me to this. It was up in the country to like a town hall where there was like senior citizens were dancing. We walked through that to the back room, and there's a guy just not in a robe, just in a button down shirt, across like a folding table, and he says, "All right, you got." I actually had a permit at the time. I didn't have a motorcycle license. He said it's like, it was $400, so much for the ticket and so much for not having a license. So the police officer puts me back in the car and he says to me, I'm taking you to Ulster County Jail. I said, well, will I be strip searched when I get there? And he said, yes. So I was like, let me give it a shot. I never got wise with the state trooper. So I said, listen, I got a little marijuana on me that you missed. And he says, you do? I said, yeah. He said, well, what do you have? I said, I don't know, 3 or 4 grams of weed. And I got a joint in the back of my cigarette box. You missed that too. So he says, I'm going to give you a break. Can you get it out of your pocket in the cuffs? I said, yeah. So he said, take the bag out. Take the joint out of your cigarette, out of your cigarette box and put it into the bag. So I did, and I handed him the bag, and he put it under his seat. So now I was on a motorcycle that was registered in Florida. I could have been charged with, at that time, I'm not saying I would have been found guilty, but I could have been charged with interstate drug trafficking. So I got out of that. I had a friend come down, post the $400, and I was out. I've had cops give me breaks because I treated them with respect. I've never had a
So in
cop.
other words, you've had a mutual agreement for the laws to be breached and for a corrupt cop to do things in your favor because you've been nice to them. Am I getting that right?
Anything that can go in my favor, whether the cop is corrupt or not, I don't care. Went in my favor, I won.
Okay,
I'll give you another scenario. This is not a corrupt cop.
Before you go on, right? Let me just say where I believe people go wrong. Right. Firstly, never admit to doing something illegal. Going over a speed limit is a ticketable, you call it a violation. It's against the law over here. But unless they've got evidence to prove it, right? They can't prove it. So never admit it, because as soon as you've admitted it, they can prove it because you said so. Right? And you're giving them the ammunition. If you hadn't have admitted it, he couldn't have done anything.
Can I correct you? Can I correct you on that? He
Yeah,
was on
sure.
a toll. He was on a toll road, so he had a ticket that said, "I got on at this time. I got here at this time." They look at that and they go, "Well,
That's right.
this fucker." Yeah, I'm talking. So they look at that and they go, "This fucker was going over 120 miles an hour at least to get here." So that's. I know, at least like in Pennsylvania.
Can I ask you a question? Is a toll road a private road?
Yeah, it's not private, but there's no exits except for at the toll booth.
Right.
I got
So they know.
I got a better question.
How long you went?
So there's reasonable suspicion that a crime had or what had been or could have been committed, right?
Well, they actually can take that as proof. It's like, hey, he went 60 miles in half an hour. He had to be going 120 miles an hour. You know.
Yeah.
That's right.
Again, it still comes down to what based on the reasonable suspicion. There's reasonable suspicion there, okay, that a crime had been committed. Therefore, the police would have been able to take it further. I agree. However, it still harms your defense when you say something to the police because it can and will be used against you in a court of law.
I totally agree with you on all of that too. And admitting you had pot and what, I totally agree with you on all that. I was just correcting the point of, that they needed more proof for the ticket.
I have a question. Can I ask you a question? I have a question and a statement that I think that he did the best thing for himself, because if he would have got caught in the jail with that, that'd have been a big time thing against him. But my question is, man, did the toll person cop your change?
No, actually, I was contemplating when she walked away, just leaving because it was getting ready to rain. I said, "Let me just eat the $18."
I thought you gave her $100 for it.
No, I gave her
$80 something.
I gave her 20.
$20.
I gave her a
Oh.
20.
But yeah, did you get your change?
Did you pay?
Yeah, I got my change.
Or did you rip me off? You know, I mean, the thing is, again, right? You weren't detained by the police officer. You were detained by the corporation.
Yeah.
For the police officer to come over to you. If
And
you'd
the
have had
trooper
the right,
works for the trooper works for the corporation, right?
if you'd have had the right change, you wouldn't have got done.
That's right.
I have a feeling she used the change as an excuse to keep him
Absolutely,
there.
100%. I'll tell you exactly what happened. The cop told me what happened. He said normally on the New York State Thruway, when you
Okay,
get
guys.
off at every exit, there is a trooper posted there. Well, the trooper that was posted at that exit was called to go to a call. That's why she did that. The trooper that was chasing me called ahead to all the different exits in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why she did that. So she was also working for the corporation, and she shouldn't
Well, yeah,
have been
she's
because. So-
she's employed by the corporation to collect taxes toll.
I'll give you another
The tax.
situation I had. I was in on Route
Hang on,
66.
before you do that, right? I really do want to. I need to take a break, folks, for starters, right? But I also want to get back to why I set this up. Okay, and going back to a video clip, right? It's just over 6.5 minutes long. What I want you to do is I want you to watch it and give me your feedback on it, right? Because it's relevant to what we are actually talking about, but it also highlights the way the public sees people's right to First Amendment as well.
I don't know. Weird situation going on here. I don't know, but they look really suspicious on all these bikes. How you doing?
It's something. Yeah, you can close it. Sounds very secretive.
How you guys doing? You guys all got e-bikes? Nice. It looks very suspicious. That's why we're asking. Just want to make sure.
We were doing an e-bike skills class.
Oh, perfect. Nice.
Yes. Well, I'm a public investigator.
Oh, cool.
I investigate the public.
Ah, so Vanessa, yeah, we'll have you, we'll write it down. Okay, we're doing a bike ride, electric bike ride.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Where are you headed that way?
She's our leader. We're gonna just east side and west side. And, yeah, electric bike. I believe a lot of people dropped off. They were hungry, but had some teenagers, and somebody also had a dead battery. So, yeah.
Have fun.
Yeah, thanks, you too. What was that?
Part of the training should be charge the battery before you guys come out.
Yeah, that was part of the training.
Yeah.
Why are you going with them? I was trying to figure out something and you just...
Are you guys rolling with them too?
Damn.
You guys are rolling too? Yay, nay?
Ooh,
No?
I like the cup holder.
It's
These
cute.
are cool setups.
What's a roll in the city? What's a roll?
So do you guys ride bikes?
I used to, not anymore. I used to mountain biking, but as I get older, I'm a little more afraid of injuries.
But here it's fun, you know, with the...
You know, I would find it more fun in the mountains, not in the city.
I mean, they vote you. This is the council that votes you, huh?
It's the city.
Is it city now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that a city-provided one, or?
No,
Oh, okay. Damn.
You're
I guess
right.
you can
You're
argue
right.
that.
I meant when it comes to the mayor. When it comes to the mayor, you guys vote for each other. It's not the city, right?
Oh, wait, what?
When it comes to you guys electing your mayor, like the mayor.
Oh,
of the
no,
city,
that is the residents vote for the mayor.
They do that
Yeah.
too. Oh, cool. All right. Alrighty. Well, hey,
I'm gonna catch up with them.
Yeah, stay
but
safe, man.
Good to see you guys.
Thank you. Let's go.
You're not going with them?
No,
Oh, okay.
huh?
I used to work in public access television, so I appreciate what you all are doing.
I love the helmet, by the way.
Public First Amendment rights.
Absolutely.
Good
Absolutely.
luck. Be safe, though. All right.
You too,
Hey,
man. I've seen a lot of people get hurt on those things. Be careful.
Okay.
You guys have a beautiful day. Hey, if it falls over, let us know. I want that footage. Picking up litter. I guess that's cool to voluntarily do that. Yeah. Looks like they're just cleaning up the community. Do you guys voluntarily do that or you get paid?
It's like a mix.
A mix? So some of you get paid, some of you volunteer.
Well, some of us will work for a nonprofit, and some of us.
Oh, okay. Well, that's cool though. Yeah. Are you one of the ones that work for it?
Yeah.
What's the nonprofit? What's the nonprofit?
So sorry.
What happened?
Thank you. Have a good one.
Oh, you don't want to share? I was trying to do a good piece on it.
I know. Sorry.
All right. Well, you guys have a good day.
You too.
Thank you for doing that. Yeah. Hey, buddy. What organization do you guys that does this?
This is through Venture and Tidy Seas.
That's cool though.
So Venture's down at the 428 block.
And you guys all volunteer mostly?
Yeah, it's all volunteer.
I like that. You guys are doing a good job. Appreciate that kind of work.
On YouTube.
What is it?
On Santa Barbara, baby.
Chris, are you a
Once in a while.
Once in a while. Uh-oh.
Not all the time. It's not a daily basis. It runs hourly.
It depends on how you feel.
Yeah, it runs hourly.
Wow.
I'm okay if I smoke up, but right now
I guess so, right?
I'm agitated. I work for Uber.
Well, don't be too agitated.
Yeah.
Life is short. You got to make the best of it while you're here. And if you ever get bored and agitated, go around and film people.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I got my phone too.
You guys have a lovely day.
You too.
Absolutely.
You didn't put my face on there.
We're filming everybody.
You're not able to take pictures without our approval.
That's wrong.
No, that's not right.
You're in public.
Not in I was in a private.
It doesn't matter. It's visible from public. It's visible from public. You're
You
wrong.
don't know your rights.
No. This is why we're out here teaching it, so you understand. If no, let me explain. Let me explain instead of being an ignorant fool. You don't have to be ignorant. Learn. Education every day. Absolutely you can.
I'm doing it right now. Wow, very aggressive.
And now you're going to be famous for being a prick who's unwilling to learn.
There's 5 of us doing it right now.
Wow.
We got 9 cameras between us.
Oh my god, wait, this is actually kind of cool. Can I take a selfie with
Absolutely.
it? Fuck yeah.
Absolutely.
So, let's try and all get together. You get as many cameras in there as possible.
Squad.
All right.
Can I take a picture of you guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
On,
My mom's gonna think this is funny. Hold on.
Give us a band name. What would you call us?
No, you have to think about it on your
Roast
own.
us. You can roast us.
No,
We can take it.
never, I think, is that what you're going for? Is
Whatever
that
you
what
want. We don't get offended.
No, I think that's what you're into.
Oh.
Maybe.
Well, she roasted you.
I am into it.
I like dude's mustache.
Oh, Nick. Lady's kind of weird.
Wait, his name's Nick?
No, it's Slim's Hassel.
Oh.
I'm a married man.
Oh.
They're on my seats.
I'm just gonna shut the door.
You don't leave it open because we're filming still.
Yeah, why?
Because we're filming in there?
But why are you filming here?
We're not allowed to disclose it. They just didn't make it. And I didn't want to.
That's okay. You can keep filming.
Uh-oh.
That's rude. That's so neat. Right.
Oh, came back.
You got me good?
I got you. You got me.
Okay. Simple one, Karen, Darren. Is that enough respect?
I'll tell you what. If not for that guy having a camera in his hand, if I was having a bad day, there's a little difference I'm going to get to between you guys and me, I bet. If I was having a bad day, if he didn't have that camera in his face and he called me a fool and a prick, I would have punched his teeth down his throat. But he had a camera. So he knew it would be on film. I think he was a little too aggressive with those people, in my opinion.
So
Wait.
free speech is something that should be punished with violence.
Well, here's what I wanted to say. Have any of you guys ever been successfully prosecuted for a crime that you committed and put in jail? I have.
I've never committed a crime.
You've never gone through a stop sign or a red light?
That's
Never.
breaking policy. That's not committing a crime. That's just violating
It is.
policy.
It is in New York. It is in New York City now. If you go through a red light on a bicycle,
Guys. don't forget I'm talking from a point of view of UK. Okay, I have never committed a crime. I have owned. Well, no, I will tell. That's telling a lie. That many years ago, over 50 years ago, I was convicted of drunken disorderly. The one and only time, and I think that's spent by now.
Well, just so maybe you didn't, the gentleman didn't hear, but I explained earlier. As of last May, the law changed in New York City. If you're on a bicycle and you run a red
Yeah,
light, you've
I
committed
know
a
which one you
crime.
were
You're given
talking
a
about
criminal
now.
citation. You're given a criminal
Yeah,
citation. That's a crime. You must appear in
my
criminal
bad.
court.
Yeah, that's fine.
My bad.
Look,
My bad.
at the end of the day, let's try and stick to the video for a
Can
minute
we
or
get
two.
back? Can we get back to
I
the very first thing you said? The camera in his face. How did he put the camera in the guy's face?
That's
He
not
was
what I said. You
standing
missed.
and
No,
you
it's
did.
had the
You
camera.
did. You said he had the camera. He stuck the camera in the guy's face, and you would have punched his teeth out for
If
putting the
not,
camera in his.
if not for him having the camera, being able to record what I did is what it, maybe I did
Okay,
say that, but that's not what I meant.
all right, okay. So
okay.
either
So I have a
way,
statement. I have a statement
yeah,
about that video.
go on.
I think that the camera is proving is just like what everybody's talking about. The camera is proving to be a powerful tool. Now, that camera is the same kind of tool as anybody has, a hammer. And hammer can be used as a weapon. A hammer can be used to build something that's strong and sturdy and can protect you. It's like that camera is a powerful weapon. And it's like how they use it, because I agree that there came a point in the time with those people with the camera. I mean, they could have been a little better in the way they were talking and understand that they knew that they would get pushback. So, and then using those words to that person, I could see where somebody would be like, if you didn't have that camera, I'd light you up, and they'd go, well, you can't get it. You need an education, idiot. And it's just like, then they're taking it too far. But that there could have been cameras on every one of those buildings, and nobody would have even gave it a thought. But because that camera is there looking at him going, hey, I like your mustache, dude, and zooms in on him, that is making that guy uncomfortable to a certain point. Now, whether or not that guy has to deal with it or not, there still has to be some decorum, like, hey, that girl roasted you, right? Because she's showing him, hey, can I take a picture with you? Would it be okay if I take a picture? And they're like, yeah, sure. And then that girl be like, see, that's the proper way to do it. And them guys will be like, no, man, we can do whatever we want. And it's like, you got to be careful how you use that tool, because like the thing goes, with great power comes great responsibility, right? So it's like everybody has to consider like what they're doing and what they're putting other people in, and they still have to be careful.
Can we make a distinction between decorum, politeness, and law?
Thank you.
Well, could I say this? Do you not think that the reason why he was calling them a fool, and the other word that he used, was for clicks and views?
No,
I think it was ego, but it
no,
could
I
be
think you're
clicks
both.
and views. But I think it was just an ego thing.
Okay. Can I just follow up with what Moxie was saying? Right. Nothing that they did was illegal. Everything they did was within the Constitution. Feelings don't come into it. They don't come into law. Police like to enforce feelings, not law. The police weren't called. So what you have here is feelings. The guy who turned round and insisted they needed permission, that was feelings, not law. And what I've heard is you're questioning the First Amendment, which is the right of press to record and disseminate to the public. in America. Over here, it's called freedom of expression. But over in America, it is a constitutional right that every American is part of the free press.
Well, if I could
Okay.
say this, so you have the freedom of speech in America, but that really
In
entitles
America.
you to criticize the government, right? For instance, if you go talk, if you,
No,
you have the right,
not
you have the
just,
freedom of
not,
speech to tell your
not, not
boss,
just the government.
okay, you have the right of freedom of speech to tell your boss to go F himself when you go to work tomorrow. But
Yeah, they,
you'll likely get fired, won't you?
yes, yeah, because that's a private setting. It's a business.
Okay, right. Like just like you have the right to scream fire at a crowded movie theater, but if somebody's injured when they stampede out of there, you're likely to get prosecuted now, aren't you?
That's
That's a
consequences.
terrible example
Yeah.
because it was the Supreme Court actually said freedom of speech. They used I think was it Warren anyway said you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. So that was a terrible
Yeah, you can't,
Well,
example.
because
the
that's
reason
because
the
that would
reason
be illegal.
the reason why I
But the
bring up the
laws,
freedom of speech is
go on.
because these Trump supporters under Trump, they can
Well,
say whatever
okay,
they want.
yes, and so can the other side, and they
Yeah.
do.
All those people in the video, they all really had the right to say whatever they were saying. Everybody who
Yeah.
spoke, even that guy, though he was wrong about the law, he still had the right to say all that stuff. Everything they
Yes,
did was freedom of speech. So at the end of the day, everybody left and it was peaceful. And whether anybody learned anything or not or whatever, everybody had the right to do everything they were doing. Nobody really did anything wrong per se.
No, I agree. I agree. But
and the interesting thing I thought was that the initial reaction from the guy walking away, right? The rebuttal came as part of freedom of speech. Your statement, right? If the camera hadn't have been there and that was you, you would have committed a crime against that person.
I didn't say. I said if I was having a bad day, I might have just bashed him right down
Well,
right in
that's
the
a
face.
crime.
I know it
That's
is.
not
I know
assault.
it is. I know it is, and that's not a
What
strength
they
of
were
mine.
doing wasn't. It's your that would have been feelings, right? Being put before law.
Well, I don't
And the
walk
thing,
around. If the guy that was walking away was 7 feet tall and weighed 350 pounds, if that was me, I wouldn't be calling him a fool.
That's your choice.
he called him ignorant. And here's a
You also
problem
called him a
I have.
fool.
Could I finish a fucking sentence? We sit here and listen to you go on, but you won't let anybody else get their thoughts out.
Come on, one person at a time. Let's not have an argument because I'll start putting people
Yeah.
backstage if I need to, and I don't want to do that.
I noticed there's a language problem. The guy called him ignorant. And when we're little kids, somehow that's this insult. Oh, you're ignorant. But they're using the word in the proper way. You're ignorant. You do not know the law. And people get offended by that, but it's a perfectly fine word. You're ignorant. You don't. And the guy was trying to tell him, no, the law says I can do this. And the guy's going, no, you're wrong because I was inside. That's not the law. So the guy was ignorant. And to say because if I was having a bad day, I'd punch his teeth out, how is that an excuse? And one other thing I want to mention about comfort. Oh, you're making people uncomfortable or whatever. That doesn't enter into it because I can become uncomfortable because I see a guy with a bad wig. You could become uncomfortable because you see a guy that's black. You can't judge on comfort. You have to judge on if what they're doing is legal, if it's the First Amendment, whatever. That's
Okay.
what I
agree totally with what Mux has said, and it sums it up at the end of the day. The only insult that was used was when the guy turned around and said, "You'll be famous on YouTube for looking like a prick." And that's if you take it as an insult, but it was a statement.
You also
And
use the word fool.
Well, it was.
what?
The guy was a fool because he's ignorant of the law.
But did he need to use that word?
Why not? It's free speech. He could have called him a fucking moron. Still free
He
speech.
could have got
It's not
punched.
fighting words. It's
He
not
could have got,
incitement.
and he could have got punched in the face too, couldn't he? I know it's
Have
against
you
the
ever-
law.
And then, and it has happened where people have tried to take the cameras away from them,
Yeah.
right? Which is actually illegal because they've been filming in public.
Have
If
you ever heard
you're
of?
filming from a public location, you can film anywhere. And if a shop has a window, and you'll see this later on, right? And they turn around and try to argue that it's in a private setting, why the hell have you got big windows there that you can see through?
No, he was
You know, I
totally
can't.
within his right to film everything he filmed, obviously.
You know
Right,
what gets
so
me though? What gets me is that if somebody takes their camera, you know, this thing that I find kind of in some way like they have a word for it, like that guy in the back took his camera and goes, "I'm going to take a picture, y'all." And they're like, "Ooh, look, a cam back. And it's just like, so they even have a word for it. It's like, it's not a derogatory statement because they have freedom of speech too, but in some way it also shows that mentality. And they're like, "Ooh, a cam back," and they actually have a word for it other than, you know, leave that dude alone. He's just taking a picture of you. Why? You know, it's all freedom of speech, but it's a mentality.
Yeah, but the thing is, the person who is turns around and says, "You can't film me," then takes a camera out to film
Yes.
them, is being hypocritical. And
Exactly
that's
what I
the
was going to
joke
say.
with the cam back.
Yeah.
It's a joke. It's a terminology. It's not insulting in any way. There is a guy, First Amendment Protection Agency, who shows the people's bicep when somebody cam backs them.
Yeah.
And he said, "Thank you for your activism."
You know what I've seen, and because I obviously Grim watches a lot of these people. I've seen quite a few of them too. One of the things, like on the cam back thing, how many times in these videos somebody will start, "Hey, Bear," somebody will start camming back, you know, but it's after they say what you're doing is illegal. You cannot film in public without asking permission. And then they start filming the person. And the person will say, "Well, then why are you filming me?" "Well, because you filmed me." But if you actually believe it's illegal, is that an excuse? Aren't you breaking the law in your?
It's
No,
not an
what?
excuse.
Well,
From the
yeah, that's
way-
what I'm saying.
Yeah, if you're saying that's illegal and you do it, then in your mind you're still breaking the law,
Yeah.
right? It's illogical. And there's something else as well. How many Teslas are there with at least 9 cameras that can record? And they
Every
don't
single
stop
one
to
of them
ask
aren't.
permission?
Isn't every
Tesla,
single
yeah.
one of? I thought every single one of them was equipped with that.
Well, they have the but it's not always switched on. But that's what I'm saying. Can be used to record, but it automatically records if there's an accident and the car is hit, and it also there's a break-in, etc. Right? That's the reason why it's because it films inside as well as outside.
I
But
find
you're
those people
agreeing to
ignorant.
give up your rights when you buy one.
Those people are ignorant that would attack a Tesla. You know, you got to know they're ignorant, right? Because Tesla's got like 9 cameras. That's the last car you want to attack because it's just like, you ignorant.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, just before we move on, hi BBA. If you want to come up, mate, it is pinned the link, but you can come in anyway. You know that. Thing is, what I was trying to get at here is, I see it as total hypocrisy that someone would get upset because they're being filmed and then they film back. And it's the same over here, right? You're legally allowed to record anything that you can see in public. Should never, ever be an issue. The police have an issue. Some Karens and Darrens have issues, right, as well.
Can I
Because
say
they don't
something?
want to be recorded. You don't be recorded. Stay indoors.
What is the point? Because I would never do this. What is the point of what the guy did? I think it looked like a coffee shop to me. What is he? What is he trying to serve the public by educating them about the
No.
First Amendment right or their rights?
No, no, no. And in the next clip, you'll understand why the guy does it. Okay.
Actually, the guys we just watched, which by the way, just throw this in, I just watched a Bear Britain video just before coming here today. But anyway, actually, these guys, Impact Video, they say that is their main goal, is to educate the public.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
that they stand there and they want people to say, "Why are you doing this? You can't do this." And then they try to say, "Well, look, we have the right."
Well, no, they're not going out for that. They'd rather not speak to anybody. People come to them.
Well, yeah, but they state all the time that they're doing it as an educational thing. And
Yes, their statement was somewhere along the lines of how ridiculous it is for someone to say that you don't have the right to record me in public, and yet you still come up in front of the camera.
I'll tell you right now
Thank you
that
for
there's
jumping.
many of those guys that are doing that. Their main objective is not to educate the public. It's to make money on YouTube or whatever social media they're posting those videos on.
Some, not all.
Where do you get your
Yeah,
statistics?
right. That's what I said. Some.
No, you didn't. You said those guys are all.
No, that's not. It's
not,
that's
and
not
it's
what I
not all
said.
about clicks and views and about monetization. Okay.
If the person
regarding monetization, right? You have news camera crews that go out and they film people. Do you think that they have time, or the law states that they have to have waivers from everybody they film? No, because they have the right under the First Amendment. It's called free press. And the problem is the majority, unfortunately, of the adult world, it comes across, and I could be wrong, so let's just put it as a generalized statement, as allegedly, don't understand the First Amendment. And there are 5 parts to the First Amendment, and most of them only know free speech.
Grim Reaper, how many subscribers does that guy have?
Impact Video, they have a lot.
I think it's over 100,000. A couple
Because
of
there's 340 million people in America. I don't see how they're educating the public if they only have 100,000.
Well, maybe you need to go and watch them, and then you'll understand, because you don't understand the First Amendment. Or if you do, you're showing how ignorant you are of the First Amendment. And that's not an insult. That's fact. Because that's how you are coming across. It's
Well, that's how
rules
you're
for thee,
perceiving.
not
That's how you're
thee.
perceiving it.
Well, it's how it's coming
Absolutely.
across. And
Well,
it would be a perception, because only you know whether or not that's how you mean it or not.
You've shown what you think of these people by determining for yourself that most of them are out for making money on YouTube.
Are
That
they not?
No.
I know people that do this that are not monetized at all. They have their own full-time jobs and they go out and do this as a hobby.
Yeah.
And they don't make any money off of their videos at all.
Well, that's a different situation.
And
Well,
I
yes,
also,
it is.
and I can also point out to you that Impact Media, right, have never, as far as I'm aware, requested any money. The money is paid to them through the advertising, which is going to be on their channel anyway, right? But because they're over a certain amount, they meet the monetization rules, right? and they don't do anything which is outside the terms of service of masters at YouTube, right? They get paid through
That
the
guy,
advertising. TMZ, CBS, or you name whatever station, TV station there is in the news, right? They get paid through advertising. Even your newspapers, the majority gets the money through advertising, not through sales.
Well, there's one
that
other way
guy,
that they make
You
money
need to
on
get
YouTube.
some of the facts straight before you can put an argument
Right.
and
Well,
say something which is general.
there's one other way they make money on YouTube when their channels are monetized. If they're doing live videos, they can get cashed. They can get, I'm sorry, what is it? Super chats.
Yeah, but that's their choice. But majority don't, not during
yeah.
those. If people want to, they can. The option is there. No one's forcing them. It's a choice.
I'm curious if he has a Cash App posted in the bio on his page.
Well, if he does, he does. I mean, hang on a second. Doesn't matter how much money you get from YouTube, right? The amount of money that it takes to go round the country, right? Such as, let's say, I'm Against the Press, right? Is far greater than the amount they get from YouTube. So if supporters of the channel want to donate, they can do. There is no issue. Not as far as I'm concerned. They don't.
That guy, by the way, he's retired. He had successful businesses he sold, and now he's doing this. It's not like he's, you know,
He funded it himself out of his
yeah,
retirement. What actually happened is his sons took over his
yeah.
business. He retired. Then he retired his sons by selling the business. And they went on the road to do this. And who said so what?
And by the way, I am looking.
It's just like that's what everybody does. Everybody gets on YouTube to do their own thing and create their own content, and whether they go here or go there and do whatever or however they started it or whatever they did it, it almost becomes it's almost like a so what if they quit their job and then they decided to do this, or it's supposed to mean what is it all supposed to mean?
No. The point
It's
I'm
just what
making
they
is
decided to do.
they self-funded, like a lot do.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying. It's self-funded. It's their choice.
And I'm looking at the guy's channel right now, and I wish you'd have said, I'll bet you a certain amount of money, because there's not a thing on there about Cash App, Buy Me Coffee, GoFundMe, or anything else.
I didn't say there was. I just said I wonder if.
The guy actually is one of the straightest, if you like that terminology. He's certainly one of the people who, in America, I have an utmost respect for, because they don't. But I don't disrespect somebody who does either, because it's the choice of the viewer. It's like if you have a membership. Yes, there is a membership on that channel. You pay YouTube if you want to. You don't have to.
I think it would be a greater service to the public if more
he is
people
now
were
retired from doing First Amendment. They no longer do that in the same way. Currently, they are helping an organization save a child, and they are trying to petition the government for anybody who abuses children to get a life sentence.
I think it might be a better service to the public at a time under Trump when he's tearing at the fabric of our democracy.
Why are you referring to Trump? Trump has got nothing to do with the Constitution.
At a time when this guy is, at a time when the United States of America has a president who has basically anointed himself king and is tearing at the fabric of our democracy, to maybe stand out in the street and talk to Trump supporters and put some sense into their heads.
Can I ask a
what
question?
gets me? Hey, let me say something since I'm here, right? I'll just
Can you get a bit closer to your mic,
Everybody
please?
else is making him a king, just like that dude said. He's appointed himself king. No,
Roland,
that guy's
can
just
you get
appointed
closer
him
to your
king.
mic? You're very muffled. You're very muffled, mate.
Am I still muffled?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Yeah,
bad.
I'm
I didn't
struggling,
hear
that's
you.
all.
Listen, go to your settings and turn your microphone up a little bit. That might resolve it.
I'll see if I can do anything at this end. Won't be a
How
sec.
about now?
Ooh.
Can I
Is it
reply
me?
to your, can I reply to that while he's fixing that,
Yeah.
on something they could do better? Well, okay, this is what they chose. You want to go out on the street and talk to people about Trump? That's your right. Go ahead. People, that always drives me nuts when somebody will see somebody, oh, they are raising money for dogs, or and someone says, well, why aren't they helping homeless vets? Because this is what they chose. And that's what these people chose. This is how they chose to work on a problem that they see with society. It makes
Yeah.
no sense to say they should be doing what I think they should do.
I didn't say that. I said it
Because you're
might be they might better serve the public.
but
It's the same
hang
thing.
on a second. Hang on a second. Right? You're putting political bias on something. They're not political.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a
They are
question. Do you
for
think
the
if Donald Trump
Constitution.
could, do you think
I'm
if
not
Donald Trump
interested in
could,
Donald Trump. This stream is not about Donald Trump.
do you
This
think if
stream
the
is
government
about the
could,
Constitution.
they would
What
take
part
our
of
First
that?
Amendment away?
What part of this is not about Donald Trump? Do you not understand? This is about
Okay,
the
once
Constitution. This is about people standing up for the Constitution and exercising their rights. If you don't
Can I,
exercise them, you're gonna lose them.
we have an
can I make,
Is that
administration
better?
that's not abiding by the
Thank
Constitution.
you. They are.
Oh, really? When the Supreme Court,
I'm not talking about Trump. I'm talking about impact media. I'm talking about people who stand up for their rights. I am not talking about a political bias.
in fact, can I say something I've noticed on a lot of videos, sort of on the side, the political idea. How many times, and I'm sure you've seen this, Grim, the people who disagree with the people who are filming, and whatever side they are on, if they are Republicans, they go, oh, you must be a Democrat. If they're a liberal, they'll say, you're obviously a Trump supporter.
Yeah,
So
I've seen it.
it's really got nothing to do with politics, because the people kind of
And if
forced
you,
the politics idea on that.
yeah, and
Yeah.
every time that is mentioned to Impact throughout their tenure of doing videos out on the street, which is their constitutional right, they have said, we are not political.
Yeah.
It's not about politics. Doesn't matter what your politics are. If you believe in something and you want to go out and you want to use your free speech, you want to go out and record, you want to go and disseminate what you find to the public, that is your right. If you want to petition the government, that is your right. If you want to assemble, that is your right, so long as you do it peacefully. If you want to pray and use your right under the First Amendment, freedom for religion, that is your right. The fact is that people don't understand what their rights are.
Well, people don't understand what the actual definition, I think, of political means, because in an ideology or a political statement, whenever you get on something and speak, that's really political. Anything that you try to get across to other people to join you in or change their frame of thinking is actually political. It's like there's like a fine line there that a lot of people don't understand, is why it gets brought up, why presidents get brought up and this gets brought up, because in some way it intertwines in the political aspect. And even though we don't get political here, just that statement and trying to get people to come along with it is actually a political understanding or a political statement in itself.
Are you talking political as in party politics?
I think that in some way we can say that this judgment panel is we're actually engaging in some form of politics right now.
I agree.
People may not, but okay, good.
In
Okay,
fact, I would say since the year 2015, that's when the public, following the lead of the candidate at that time who actually won the election and became president in 2016, he makes everything political, and a lot of the public is now doing that. And I may do it myself from time to time.
I think this is hilarious, right? The only person that doesn't live in the United States understands the Constitution of the United States far better than the people on the panel. No disrespect, gentlemen, right? I'm talking from a constitutional point of view, and don't forget, no government shall impede or override the Constitution.
But the government
That's what the
has.
Second Amendment is for. That's what the Second Amendment is for. The
But the
government is
government
trying
has.
to. But if you don't stand up for your rights, the government wins. What
Well,
part of that does not make sense?
I want you to know this. Living in New York City, when there are Trump protests, I don't protest actually. And I believe in peaceful protests. What I do is when they're walking protests, which most of them are, a group of bicycles show up to block the intersections for the walkers so they can go through safely. And I'm an active participant.
Good.
Fine, but that's fine.
What's your point?
As long as you're not breaking the law, what's the issue?
The
And
issue
see, I
is
think, oh, sorry. I bet.
the issue is we have an administration that's turning these peaceful protests, labeling them as riots and rioters.
If
How
it's
old
peaceful,
are you? Can I ask how old you are?
I'm in my 60s. I just recently retired
Oh,
as a
well, then you're.
personal trainer, and I
Well, then,
served the public.
can
I
I,
taught people how to exercise and take care of their bodies.
yeah.
I served
Can
the
I
public.
oh,
can
okay.
can I follow up on my point though of why I asked? So obviously you're like me. You grew up watching TV in the '60s. You think this is a new thing that the government is going to be against protest?
No, but it's escalated now beyond anything I've ever seen.
Who was the
Oh,
greatest?
really?
I'll give you an
Paul,
example.
hang on. Paul has been trying to say something, and he's been cut off a couple of times. Paul, what were you going to say? You were saying
I'm
something.
going to say that people bring up the Second Amendment, right? And this is just my opinion, just because we're on this panel, is that the right to bear arms in that aspect, I mean, people want to put that on like a firearm or something in that aspect, but it's called, also there's battle of the forms like that in petitioning. There's also arms that we have connected to our body, and what we do with them in the right to bear can, it's almost like that same thing in political. It's like, well, we don't get political, but our right to bear arms is more than just it's like driving that bicycle up to a thing and helping people cross the street. That in a way is their right to bear arms.
Yeah, the
No, I don't see
technical side of it is the right to bear arms and to form a militia. A militia is something which goes against the government.
No.
Against a tyrannical government, yes.
Well,
No.
any
See,
government.
this. If you're going to move to the Second Amendment, this is where we'll start
No,
disagreeing.
no. I was using that as an. I'm just saying that's. I mean, I don't know the wording spot on, right?
But I'm saying I totally disagree with that reading of the Second Amendment. I believe the Second Amendment was put in place because at the time we couldn't afford big standing armies, and the Second Amendment was so people were going to be able to defend themselves against Indians or those damn redcoats coming back.
It was
No person in their right mind is going to take over a country and say the first thing we want to do is make it easy for people to throw us out of office by giving them. Okay, let me break this one more point. It says well-regulated militia. Who's supposed to regulate the militia?
There you go.
Well, WELL.
As in
No,
Fargo?
Sorry, that's a
Who
joke.
who regulates the militia? Who regulates the militia?
Well,
Good point.
The American Civil War was a legal war because it was actually the grey coats against the blue coats. Blue coats, so to speak. But the Second Amendment was put in place to protect the sovereignty of the Republic of the United States.
Who regulates the militia?
Well, it could be
No,
any.
it's
It
in the
could be it's not an answer.
It's in the Constitution. It is
Okay.
in the Constitution.
What does it
It's
say?
under the purview of the Congress.
That's the that. Hang on a second. Isn't that where you declare war?
No, the
president can't declare
Congress,
war.
Congress is over the militias. That's the well-regulated militia.
So
If you look
what
on
happens-
under the Constitution, that's part of their thing. That, to me, the well-regulated militia today is the National Guard. It's not a bunch
Well-
of guys in a cabin that decide we're a militia.
So okay, all right. So let's say the state bring in the National Guard. The National Guard is not federal, right?
It can be.
It can be. That's
It
right.
can be federalized. It can be federalized.
Yep.
But if you're going right, here we got a situation where you've got a political agenda against the president, right? And some people are saying that America is on the verge of a civil war.
It's not going to happen.
I disagree. To start,
I'll tell you why.
I don't think there's enough people who are educated in their rights to even get anywhere near that.
What's the definition of civil war? Like, see, we got to come up with, there could be a civil war, but what is your definition of civil war? Like raising up arms, but arms can be that same thing. Riding a bicycle in to help protect the thing, or just our frame of mind and how we speak and our political views on how we think that the country should move forward. It's all that same thing.
Actually, you really, I know what you're trying to say, but really, when you talk about like the bicycles and stuff like that, you're actually going back to the First Amendment. That's them exercising their right to expression. That's the right to assembly. That's not not saying the right to bear arms.
That's right.
Unless they're
The bear
strapped
arms,
at the time.
yeah, the bear arms is firearms. Always has been. That's the reason why you've got open carry, closed carry, and in a state of Florida where you can open carry if you're going to or from a fishing location.
But isn't it funny how the gentleman that was executed with 9 bullets laying on his back after he was sprayed with mace in his face, and his legally owned and had the carry permit, that pistol was taken off of him. And what did this administration say? Well, you can't bring a pistol to a protest. Well, what do you mean? What happened to the Second Amendment?
If it's perfectly legal to open carry or close carry, and you have the permits and you meet the requirements, there's no reason why you can't.
Well, in that situation, this administration disagrees with you.
Well, the administration can disagree, but from a legal perspective, it could be challenged to the Supreme Court for a ruling.
Well, it's not going to be, because a man was unalived, and the perpetrators of unaliving him are not even going to be prosecuted or even investigated.
But that's because of corruption.
Yeah.
See? Right.
That's why we're supposed to have. That's why we're supposed to have 3 independent branches of government.
But that we don't, 3 co-equal branches, but we don't have that anymore. I'll give you an example. When the Supreme Court ordered Donald Trump.
Please, just notice that I said supposed to.
Right. When the Supreme Court ordered Donald Trump to not deport that Garcia guy who was deported to El Salvador for, what was it, 2 months? Did he listen to this co-equal branch of government? No, he did not. He deported them anyway. And wait a minute, just yesterday, the Supreme Court deemed that his tariffs are illegal, and now he may not, he may or may not, but he basically swears up and down. Not only is he going to keep those tariffs, he's going to put more in, and he's going to violate
Yeah.
this. We have the judicial. He's going to violate the judicial co-equal branch of government once again.
Yes, and again, that should be down to the voters, right? Technically, right, to vote him out at the end of the next term. We have the same.
We don't have to vote him out. He can't run again. He's a lame duck president. This is his second term. He can't have a third term. Not legally.
Well, can I just put an alternative point of view across? Right, there has been a president who has actually served 4 terms, right? And technically speaking, if you go to war, all elections are suspended and he stays in power.
And what are we doing right now in Iran?
Wait.
What are we doing in the Gulf of Oman right now?
Would you please stop? Please. I have to. Grim, you're totally wrong. The amendment limiting a president to 2 terms happened after FDR.
Well, who served 12 years as president?
Wasn't it Roosevelt?
FDR, yes, and that was after him is when they made the amendment and said, no, two terms is all you get.
That's fine. Okay, that's fine. But all I'm saying is, right, it has happened. There's no reason why it couldn't happen, right? Technically. I mean, if you are at war, a legitimate war, I'm not talking about what Trump does, right? I'm talking about Congress, I think it's Congress, right, who declare war because the president can't. That's my understanding, right? If it's declared war, and the last time that America declared war was in the Second World War as a result of Pearl Harbor. Everything since then has not been a legal war. The same way as we have not been in a legal war in Britain since the Second World War.
In 2
Because
weeks or less.
the only person who can declare war, right, is the king in this present moment in time, right? Not the government.
I would think, I don't know this to be fact, but I would think if Trump was to declare war shortly before office, with whatever country it was, that in that scenario, I would think that because J.D. Vance has only served 1 term, he may be appointed president, but I don't know that for sure.
Well, possibly. If they suspended elections.
Yeah, and first of all, how many terms J.D. Vance has served doesn't matter because it's 2 terms as president.
Okay.
Vice president. But can I make a point? Something. You know, me and Grim both are talking about what's in the Constitution, how it's supposed to work, as opposed to you keep wanting to go with the specifics of Trump. And that's where we're having a little communication problem. You're saying,
I feel left out.
Like
you're the one deflecting.
Nobody here hates Trump more than me. I'll tell you that. But we're not talking about specifically with Trump. We're talking about the way the First Amendment is supposed to work.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get at. It's about education. It's not about I'm talking about what is legal under constitutional law in America, right? I wish that Britain had something similar. We don't have a written constitution. We don't actually, we have what's called an unwritten constitution. But that means that law has made certain things and they've given us permissions. They're not rights. It's a law that gives us a right, therefore it gives us a permission. That's the main difference between Britain and America and the rest of the world. But the funny thing is, right, and this is what I always find amusing, is that the US Constitution was based around the Magna Carta.
Yeah.
Hey, Grim, can I ask you a question? about that. Do you think that America lost that war to Britain, or do you think Britain really won it?
The
And
Revolutionary War, right? We won.
yeah, what do you think really happened?
I would say, depending on how you're looking at it, and there's two sides of the same coin to me, right? One, you gained a republic, you gained the right to self-govern, which I've got nothing against, right? Personally, right? From our point of view, it was the begin. We'd already lost the so-called British Empire,
Yeah.
right? We weren't what we were, so to speak. And what we were colonists. We were going in, colonizing places and taking them for our own, right? You can get into the ins and outs as to what is a real American, right? In the sense of who was there before the British invasion, shall we say, right? Or the European invasion,
Yeah.
right? That was the natives of America at that time, right? And I'm not going to get into how I think that that's turned out, right? But if you look at the whole of the US, you are a republic made from, and it's come through immigrants, but legal immigrants at the time. And since then, you've developed your own rights, your own laws, and the ultimate law is the Constitution.
If I could say
Right?
this,
That's all I'm saying.
the indigenous people of this land was not named America when this land was taken away from them. Those
No.
Indians, it wasn't called America. It was their
No.
land, and we took it.
Hmm.
My ancestors, you guys.
Well, the ancestors of the Europeans that went over, etc. Right? That's where it came from. Okay, but when you won the Boston Tea Party, right, or the Revolution, whatever you want to call it, right, you then went through another revolution, right? North v South. North won, South lost. And you became totally united from a legal point of view, and you all adopted the same constitution. Back in the 60s, you had the most famous of non-violent.
Martin Luther King.
Yes, right. And everything that guy did, he stood for the rights, and he stood for the rights of equality, and he stood under the Constitution. Right. And as a result of what happened and the bonding, right, you got rid of, theoretically, the mistreatment, right, of colored people, white people. There was nothing. All those
Theoretically.
Only, yeah, I'm talking about from a legal perspective. I'm not talking about anything else, right? Britain was the first country to abolish slavery within the country, but that came about accidentally, so to speak, right? It came about because of maritime law, right? And the law changed as a result, right? And it abolished slavery officially. I'm not saying that it abolished it totally, because Africa was still technically part of a colony of ours under British rule, etc., and slavery still continued, right? But at the end of the day, what I'm trying to get at, and we've got away from it, and I want to keep bringing it back to it, the supreme law of the land in the USA is the Constitution. As simple as that. And it's down to the Supreme Court to interpret that. Right? Ultimately, Supreme Court of the United States. But the way that it again is set up, you have territories, you have Supreme Courts that cover certain amount of states, etc. And it can then ultimately be appealed to the higher court.
The
Right?
highest court of the land is the Supreme Court.
No. I'm talking about from
I see what
the
you're saying. Okay,
territorial.
I got you.
Yeah, right. So yes, and that's what I'm getting at. Hi, darling. Thanks for dropping by. We're having a wonderful discussion around the Constitution, and I am educating a few Americans at the same time, which is all.
Go ahead.
So let's get back to what some people are suggesting is using the Constitution wrongly. Here is potentially more in line with Strictly's argument, and to a certain extent, not the argument, but the argument put forward by Fallen. Okay, this is only 4 minutes.
Can I say one thing before you move on?
That's it. Yeah.
When you were talking about the British Empire, this is something that has always amazed me. Is a crappy little island during the time of Queen Victoria controlled most of the world.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? It's like you could understand if it had been like Russia or China or something like that. But England, it's so small, and yet they've managed. And one of the things that you think about that they did, like take India for example, is they went in and said, okay, we're in charge now, and these are the officers, and all you Indians are going to be in the army, and let's listen to us. And for a long time, none of these countries said, wait a minute, we got them outnumbered 10,000 to 1. Why are we letting them? But I'm just saying, it boggles the mind that little country managed to do that.
Yeah. And then you got a few people at a tea party that managed to start a revolution over in America.
Yep.
Yeah, well, here and now today, the UK is what, a pop country of what, 60, 70 million people? And you have an active military force of about 60,000 members?
We have, let's take the military out of the equation. They're being misused, in my opinion, and it is only my opinion, to be used in conflicts around the world that got fuck all to do with us. Excuse my French. Right? I personally think that maybe the West should unite against the real problem, which is, if you like, the same sides of two different sides of the same coin, which is against fascism and against communism as it is.
Well, herein lies the problem. We have a president in office who has basically anointed himself as king and aligns himself with most of the dictators in the world and berates each and every democratic leader of the world.
Right. Okay. That's
of the country, not of the world. Well,
that's opinionated, and I appreciate your opinion, right? But it takes us away again from what we're talking about, which is the First Amendment.
Let me ask you one more 250-year-old question. Do you think we would have become independent if George III was not nutty as a fruitcake?
Do you want an honest answer?
Yeah. In your opinion, do you think?
I honestly don't care, because I deal with the here and now, not the history. Right?
Okay.
The history of your country over the last 250 years, from, if you like, nothing to a powerful country, right, is absolutely amazing, and I will take my hats off to you every single time, okay, regarding that feat. But if that is down, I believe, to your constitution.
Okay. So let me just say this. I think we should move back to the real subject, and you should stop letting Fallen interrupt with all this side stuff.
I just have one more question for Grim Reaper before we move on. Can you explain to me why it is that 1 out of every 3 working adults in the UK is collecting benefits when in America it's 12 to 13%? Do you have any reasoning for that?
Yeah, there's no work.
So it was what you're saying that the UK is more automated, more advanced than America? Is that what you're saying?
No, I didn't say that. I said because there's no work.
Well, why is there no work?
Because of companies cutting back on the number of workers they need, right? And using certain tools to replace and have automated, right?
Well, that's but
The
that's just not.
idea, because, let me finish, right? We sold off all of our crown jewels, which was all the nationalized industries, right? And it was down to Margaret Thatcher, who believed that capitalism was the way forward. Now, with hindsight, we can honestly turn around, or I could turn around and say, hang on a second, that destroyed us as a country because we have no identity anymore. All of those big businesses, majority of them are either owned by a Chinese company, a Russian company, and an American company, a Taiwanese, Australian, you with me? See where I'm coming from? And it's all private enterprise, right? And as soon as you have that, you then end up with low wages, you end up with cutbacks, you end up with laws being bent, etc., in order for profits to be made. Our water industry is privatized. It's the equivalent of looking at America, but we don't have the resources to back it up to do anything. We have rights under legislation, permissions to have guards on automated or on industrial equipment, being sat in front of a laptop, a screen for so long, etc. Right? We have the right to vote, yet we voted for a government, technically, where 70% of the electoral who were able to vote didn't vote at all, right? So I don't get it. I'll never get it. I'll never understand it, right? When 70% can't be bothered to go and vote. And I've got to say, I was one of them. Because what was the choices? The government's still going to win. The machine is still going to carry on. And we're still going to get our permissions, in our case, trampled on. What I'm trying to say is you don't have a machine. You can fight against the machine by standing up for your rights and recognizing what your rights are. Doesn't matter whether you're a Trump supporter. Doesn't matter whether you're at the time a Biden supporter. Doesn't matter. You stand up for what you believe in and you protect your rights.
Well, be clear on this. I'm not neither a Trump supporter nor am I a Biden supporter. I preferred Biden over Trump. I mean, the way I see it, both parties here have failed me repeatedly. I'm an independent. I'm looking for something new. Hopefully, that something new will give me, what I want and need.
Yeah,
And with the rest of Americans as well, not just myself, obviously.
Yeah.
Other than the super rich.
But you see, don't you? I mean, I'm a believer that the rich get rich and the poor get poorer.
Well, obviously. Now, that's what we have here in America. We have the rich and we have the poor. What middle class is left?
Exactly. That's the whole point. That's what I'm trying to say. You used to have a blue collar and a white collar and this, that, and the other. You don't have that anymore. You're a two-system society. You're either rich or you're poor. And if you're rich, you can get away with whatever you want. Right? Here,
Can I derail this again? Is
Please
because
do.
when somebody says independent, right? That's a self sustaining comment, right? Because we're all independent. So the whole thing is when people talk about anarchy, anarchy is no rulers. It's about governing ourselves. And it's when we get into a mindset where we can actually govern ourselves and not need a ruler or vote for people to rule over us and go, my ruler now wins because of our vote collectively. We get to tell you what to do. It's kind of like having, if you go to your neighbor and hold the right to bear arms against his head and go, we're going to take this from you, but then to claim it's okay to vote somebody in that now sends that person with the firearm to put next to your head and go, you're going to do this under threat of force. We're really not governing ourselves. We're voting other people to govern us because within us somehow we've chosen a weakness to claim we can't govern ourselves. We need a ruler to govern us. So then people will claim Trump's trying to be a king or this person's trying to get that. Everybody who votes actually falls into that. Like Grim, when you were saying, I fall victim of what I can't believe that other people do, is because there's really not a fault in that. It's that we can't find within ourselves that we have that right to govern ourselves. That's given to us because I think in some way we were born. So we have those fundamental rights within ourselves, fundamental rights to life, happiness, the pursuit,
And
of
the
all
American
these
way.
things.
Well, listen,
And so,
gentlemen, I'm going to step down. It was a really nice conversation with the three of you guys. I don't know if you're aware of this, but we have a blizzard warning here in New York City. We're expecting 16 inches of snow, and I got to get outside and throw some salt down on the sidewalk, the steps, and the driveway. And hopefully, maybe it'll melt a little bit as it's falling initially, anyway. So I got
No
I got a
worries.
big when I say blizzard warning, this is going to be a big one. They're talking about 50 mile an hour sustained winds with wind gusts up to 60 miles an hour. We're going to have big
Holy
drifts. We're going to have
jeez.
problems over here.
hey, can
Yeah.
So,
just do anything you can to dissolve ice.
yes.
Or
Like
boiling water over it.
when the snow first starts to fall, it'll be about 35 degrees. So that salt
Yeah.
will melt.
I've
The
got a
snow
friend
is-
in Cape Cod who is expecting 14 inches of snow this weekend.
Yes. It's actually supposed to start tomorrow morning and last through until Monday evening.
Hmm.
Blizzard warning is in effect. Hopefully, the weather forecasters are wrong and the storm shifts
Listen,
slightly, but I don't think it will.
instead of talking, do what you said and go and do what you need to do now.
All right, guys. Gentlemen, have a good night. It was a pleasure talking with you guys.
Yep. We'll see
Yes.
you. It was
Thanks
good.
for coming up.
Ciao.
Audio?
Yeah. Well, wonderful discussion. Anyway, right. I've got two clips to play, and I normally time it a little bit better, but we got sidetracked, which is great. But I've still had very little sleep, and I do need to try and catch them.
Well, like I said, it's all Poland's fault. He keeps interrupting.
Okay, so gentlemen,
Sorry, go-
stop it. What do you think this is, America? Do you think you got the right free speech on YouTube? And watch this and tell me what you think.
What are you guys all about?
Oh shit.
Yeah. Why are you wearing masks?
Well, I can only answer one question at a time. Which one do you want answered?
No, tell me first. What are you all about?
So we are out here doing public filming and photography through the exercising of our First Amendment rights and your First Amendment rights. And we remind people that when you're out in public, you don't have any privacy and that you're constantly being filmed every time you leave the house over several hundred times a day. In fact, they are filming us right here on the sidewalk and I have nothing to do with the business. So we just remind people how often you're being filmed and that if you want and demand privacy in public, you have to create it yourself.
Yes.
So, but like, what organization are you?
I don't share that part.
Why?
Why?
Oh, yeah.
We just don't share it while we're working.
How come?
It's a personal choice. I don't know if he wants to share his or his.
We
I
don't
don't,
share. I'm a married man, so I'm not.
I'm not with them, so I don't know.
So, what prompted you guys to do this?
We're not allowed to disclose anything of that in this day and age with the 911 and everything that's going
I
on.
personally,
But this is kind of odd that
I
you're
personally,
making this. Okay, go ahead.
I personally choose to do it because people do need to be reminded how vulnerable we are out in public.
We
And,
are.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I'm an advocate to remind people that when you're outside and you're on your cell phones and people can zoom in from across the street with a telephoto lens,
Yeah, I know.
get your banking information, your personal emails, your text, just from you doing it on your screen.
Yep.
And so this helps remind people and continue the conversation of how important it is to maintain your own privacy when you're out in public. So that's why I do it. I don't know why they do it.
Do you guys wear masks all the time?
I do wear masks.
No. This is as part of the. I mean, I do this every day, but when I'm out in public by myself and I don't have this attached to me, then absolutely not. But this is almost as ridiculous as somebody coming up and saying, "Don't film me. I don't want to be filmed. You're in public." So I remind them, if you want privacy, I can't give you your privacy. You have to create it yourself, like I have here.
So how do you,
like right now with your camera?
No. So how do you suggest that people help change it so that we do keep our privacy?
It's just to be aware. There is no privacy. At the end of the day, it doesn't exist. But it's just to be aware and to remind you, especially with personal information, to keep it protected.
All right. So you're not trying to like bad vibe people.
No, not at all.
This is just your own personal statement.
Absolutely.
Was he trying to do that to us when we took a picture of him?
Huh?
Was he trying to do that when he took a
No,
picture
but
of
you
us?
know, when people wear masks like you guys are wearing, it's usually something not very nice.
That's not always true.
A lot of
3 years ago, we were all in
Profiling.
masks.
You're basically
No,
profiling.
you're kind of masks where they're not necessary.
During COVID, I absolutely wore this mask.
I wore masks during COVID, but
I didn't wear the little doctor ones. Those
now
were-
it
COVID
kind
hasn't
of.
gone away. COVID hasn't gone away.
What?
COVID hasn't gone away.
No, it hasn't gone away.
Yeah.
I don't know who that gentleman is, but he's a hell of a fire starter. He's back there talking shit.
Very aggressive there. No, there's not. Thank you.
I agree.
Huh?
I agree. There's no privacy.
My name is Jake, by the way. Thank you guys. Thanks for hearing it out.
Yeah.
We're not here doing anything nefarious. Just reminding people how vulnerable you are out in public, and to remind yourself, like, even when you're on your phone,
Yeah.
watch out who's behind you and around you, and that's all.
You never know.
This could be the kind of thing we're all getting soon.
Absolutely.
Lots of it.
Absolutely. So, you're being filmed over 100 times a day every time you leave your house. So,
Let's do cameras right now.
yeah. I'm being filmed here, and I'm not even eating here. So,
You never know.
Interesting.
But you guys have a blessed day. Thank you guys.
Why are you closing the business?
You guys just answer any of our questions about why you're here, and I think it's making some people.
I actually told everybody here while we're here.
Sorry.
No, man, don't do that. You can't do that.
You need to
That's
feed his
making
4
me very
kids.
Bye, guys. I love you all.
You have no right to shut
He needs
that
to
down.
feed his 4 kids. Don't do that.
You're making me very
Wow.
uncomfortable.
Wow. That's it. That's it.
I can see your shoes.
Someone is this.
Now that's how you create privacy in a business.
Absolutely. That's what I was like. It's like that was like a rhetorical question, right? Hey, why are you closing the business? They're not closing the business, dude. They're creating privacy in public.
The trouble is they got one way in, one way out with that dining area for everybody. But it's the same, it would be the same to me as if you had a big glass window there. I mean, at the end of the day, if you're inviting people to look in, there's some good questions, I thought, and some which were bloody stupid, in my opinion. But, I think that sums up what Impact Media were trying to do.
Which one was the stupid question?
Why are you wearing masks? In my opinion.
Well, that was an educational question, right? I don't think that was a stupid question because he's saying, look, I'm creating privacy and you guys have to understand that. So I don't think that was stupid. That's my opinion.
Yeah, but I'm looking at it from a point of view of it was rhetorical. It was a comment. Why are you closing the business? It was that was a comment rather than a question, as you say, rhetorical. But I just wanted to. That really sums up why, in my opinion, the need for the education. All right. And whether you agree or disagree with the way it's done is one thing, but education around the First Amendment and around the Bill of Rights in particular, it is no longer taught in schools in America in the same way as it was in the 70s or in the 80s or even in the 90s. Probably in the 90s it started to end up where, it's on the syllabus, tick box. We've done it one day or one class. Because the powers that be, the lords and masters who govern us all, don't want people to know about their rights. and don't want people to understand what the Constitution actually means. So that they can either generate money off them or they can put them behind bars for whatever reasons, like obstruction. Because that's a new one. Oh, you're obstructing the police. Why are you in? How? Is it a physical obstruction? Am I preventing you from doing what you're doing, etc.?
The thing that bothered me the most about that video was that one guy's mustache.
What, you didn't like it, or the fact that he was in on it?
He was peeking over his sunglasses.
Yeah.
But he was just getting on with it. Just because there's a camera there from Joe Public, right? What's the difference between them doing that and someone walking down the street, or Google car driving down the street taking photos?
Hey, can we all picture the day? Can we all picture the day that we're walking out in public like the females of Islam? Just saying, right? Because that's like total privacy, right? Is to be like, I'm going to cover myself totally, but my eye slits.
But that is based around religious beliefs, which is perfectly normal and falls within the First Amendment. People don't like it because they don't trust it. There's a difference. They don't trust something which they can't see.
Do you think that's from the caveman days?
Hang on. But they're more than happy to believe in the unseen God. Does that make sense?
Yipes.
Whatever your God is, you with me, right? If you believe in it, it's unseen. It's just what you believe in.
Well, it depends on how you do it, right? Because I can see that tree and that bee and that bird, and I can understand that took an intelligent a designer to make those things, because a tornado can't go through a junkyard and come out, plops a 747 jet, just in critical thinking. So we can claim what's unseen to what's seen, right? As what creation actually means within an individual.
Yeah. But you can't see the wind, but you can see the effects of the wind. And you can feel the wind. So, again, there's pros and cons. Anyway, Muxter, have you got anything else to add before I run the final one, which I think you'll find amusing?
How long is it?
Are you a few minutes long?
That's what she said.
Well, no, because I am getting ready to leave, so I was just wondering if it's...
Oh, it's unfortunately it is the longest one, but it is also the funniest.
Okay,
well.
let's get to it.
Hi, almost. Hi, what are you guys filming?
I'm just taking a video of the area
Oh, okay.
of all the shops and.
Kind of making people uncomfortable.
Okay, well I can't control that.
Well, but this is private in here. But why are you filming?
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, but why are you guys filming the salon?
You have a giant glass window, but you want to keep it private in there?
Okay, but why are you filming the salon? Women getting their hair done.
We're filming literally every business as we go. Just yours just happens to be a salon.
Okay, who are you guys?
So we don't disclose that while we're working. We're not going to disclose that while we're working. Okay.
My attorney here.
Okay.
What are you
There's
guys
nothing he can do about this.
doing? What are you doing?
What's that?
What are you guys doing?
I don't have to explain that to
You
you.
absolutely do. This is an invasion of our privacy. You're
Okay.
in public.
If you're an attorney, you know that doesn't exist in public.
Actually does. He doesn't even know what he's talking about. Well, what are you talking about? What are you doing? We're in public.
I don't owe you answers.
You
I
don't come and take photographs. What gives you the right?
you want to bet? The First Amendment. How about that?
Keep going at it.
Yeah,
Give me your
I'm
details
doing
and
it.
we'll see you.
Absolutely not.
What's your details? I'll give you my details. I want your details.
It's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Well, then please leave.
Absolutely not.
Well, then we're going to go and
know what, I'll just
call
call
security.
Okay. Then now we have to stay. That's fine. Go back.
Now we're going to film here the whole time.
And we're going to show you that you need a better lawyer.
We'll wait for them.
Yeah, she needs a better lawyer than that guy.
He came out mid-haircut to y'all though.
What the hell just happened? I have no idea what just happened, but so apparently she had her attorney getting his hair done, and he came out to tell us that we're not allowed to film into the window from public. Mind you, we're standing on the back of the sidewalk, out of the way. They have a ginormous glass display, but he wants the information so he can sue us.
Honestly, if I was her, I wouldn't do that lawyer.
If you guys think you've got the right to do this, then give us your names.
Absolutely not.
Well, then why do you want to play with masks and do the silly game?
What are you talking about? Because if you want privacy in public, the onus is on you.
This is
you want to interrupt. You don't answer. It absolutely. This is public.
You are taking photographs of private people in their private
through a ginormous glass wall.
Please give me your name.
You understand? Okay.
Well, take your mask off.
Are you a real lawyer or are you a fake lawyer? Are you a real lawyer?
Show your face.
Are you a real lawyer?
Will you show your face?
Definitely not a lawyer.
I think she just said that to try and
No, so
you show your face.
It's bullshit because at the end of the day, he thinks that he can trespass our eyes, and the lens are our eyes. You can't trespass our eyes, so therefore you can't trespass the lens.
Listen, if you
How do I know more law?
If you thought you were doing something legal, then what's all this covering up?
How do I know more law than you if you're a lawyer?
Hey, why are you covering
My
up?
father says that you didn't pass the bar exam.
Yeah.
Why don't you show your faces? Why you?
Because we're educating ignorant people like you that in public we're supposed to create our own privacy. Because we live in America.
If you want to go and film private people, then show your face.
Why are they in public then?
They're not in public. They're in a private
In a
place.
window display case.
Why do they have a window display case?
You cannot do what you guys are doing.
You want to bet?
Okay, yes, I want to bet.
The First Amendment. You think you're just going to erase the First Amendment?
Let's have a bet.
Have
I'll
a bet what?
with you.
We're not in the UK.
You're going to erase the First
I'll have a
Amendment?
bet with you.
You're going to erase the First Amendment?
I'll have a bet with you. You're a big deal. Let's have a bet on this.
A bet of what?
That you're right.
A bet?
That you can take photographs of people.
A bet? Okay, how much do you want to bet?
How much?
$1,000 right now
Right.
that I can't do this.
Show me your face now.
1,000? No.
Show me your face.
So
and give
when
me your
patrol
details.
when patrol gets here, they're gonna tell you. So everybody saw that he owes me $1,000 as soon as patrol gets here.
Someone's about to get $1,000 today.
He's not gonna pay us.
You guys have that much courage, you know that?
Really?
That much.
You have
Zero.
no idea what we're doing out here.
You've got zero
Okay.
courage.
All right.
Well, then tell us what you're doing then.
And you owe me $1,000,
Tell
and you
us what
shook
you
on
do.
it, and you're an
Tell
attorney,
us
quote
what you're
unquote.
doing. Tell us what you're doing.
I would have if everybody came out politely and asked, but nobody came out politely and asked.
Did you come and ask if you could do this?
So when we don't have to.
Talk about polite.
We don't have to.
Talk about being polite. Shouldn't
We
you
don't
knock
have
on the
to.
door and say, guys, do you mind if we film you?
Absolutely not.
Oh, no, you don't have to do that.
No, absolutely
you can come
not.
with masks on, big deal.
So let's say, listen for a second. Let's pretend you're at Disneyland, okay? And you're taking a selfie with your family. Listen, you're going to ask for everybody in the background's consent because you took a picture of them?
Let me tell you, if you thought you were right, then show your face and give your name.
I know I'm right, and I don't have to.
Okay, I just want to film you because you're filming me.
That's fine.
It's fine.
No,
Go
but
ahead.
you
You
can't
have
film
the-
them because
you have the
because
First
they've
Amendment
got
right to do so.
courage. They will not show your face.
Why won't you guys show your face? You're saying
We don't have to. We don't have to. You've chosen to expose your face to public, so it's not, that's your choice.
Really?
And even then, you're covered in so much makeup that you're actually not showing your
I
face.
don't have a lot of makeup.
Okay, well you have
wanna
enough.
abuse people,
So you're
carry on
covering your
abusing
face.
people. You really, you are despicable. You know
Okay. I'm just stating facts.
You
like,
are despicable.
Okay.
She's saying you've got too much makeup on.
No, but
you're
you're
hiding
complaining
your
about
face 'cause
you're
you haven't
complaining
got the
about my
courage.
beautiful smile.
But you haven't got the courage to show your face
Okay.
or give your name.
I don't have to.
But
Look,
why-
look,
but-
look, 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 look.
Yay! But why are you guys doing
Now
this?
give me your name.
Just curious. Why are you guys doing this? Like,
I would have explained if you came out polite. Like we've explained to 15 other businesses who had no problem with us doing what we're doing, came out really respectfully, and we explained everything.
But why don't you
But
knock
I
on
don't
the
owe
door? Why
answers
don't you knock on the door and say, do you
because
mind
I
if we
don't
photograph
have to, and then I'm not. In order to knock on that door, I have to step on private property
let's go. It's okay.
because you guys ran out of
She
ideas.
got a better lawyer though, that's for sure.
Yeah, that's definitely not a good lawyer.
I think I'll make a better lawyer than you.
He owes me $1,000.
Yeah, we got it on camera.
I don't think I'm getting the $1,000. That makes me sad. Sad. Do you think you'll pay up? Everybody wave. Everybody wave.
I'm gonna post right here.
What's that? What movie is that where the penguins are saying, everybody wave?
Oh, Madagascar?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he's on the phone with some guy.
He's on the phone with some guy. She's on FaceTime with her.
Claire, I walked down to the vacant building right here because we were going to move on. I was done here. We got some footage. I was complimenting the inside of their shop, how they had really nice decorations, how they had the little table right there. I was being nice. I was going to go move on, and they forced us to stay because they said they're calling patrol, and they brought their attorney out and whatnot. So, you know.
I want the three guys with the camera. I'll be like, yo, bro, we gotta separate.
I don't. Okay, so I honestly do not believe that that is her attorney.
Yeah.
But let's for a minute pretend it was. You need a new attorney. Absolutely need a new attorney. There's no circumstance where I would be okay with somebody not knowing the very first amendment in our Constitution and throwing the expectation of privacy into the mix in a conversation where we are out in public. And I had to explain trespassing the eyes. He didn't like it. Didn't accept it. I don't know what to do. That's not a good attorney. But that's also why I don't think he was an attorney. I think that they just threw that in there to be like, oh, I'll pretend to be your attorney. I'll scare them away. That didn't work. And he owes me $1,000.
And video.
So if there is an attorney watching, comment down below if I'm allowed to collect on the $1,000. Well, I mean, if you're gonna say, hey, this is my attorney, at least come out with a real attorney. If you're gonna call my bluff, it's not gonna go well. Her attorney is now Googling the law. This is great. They're reading it together. He's on his phone Googling.
So right now,
Oh, I'm dead. I am dead. Hey, bless him for educating himself. But that was great. Man, we got a cam back from all the way down the block. I like the iPhone. Where's my $1,000? You shook on it. I don't think I'm getting my money.
They don't understand. He took a picture and he flipped us off.
So I found his car. His house? He lives right there? That's going to be easy to send him a bill.
Okay, I said it was the funniest. I hope you enjoyed that.
It was the funniest.
I know if I was going to hire an attorney, I would definitely hire one from a different country.
It's from South Africa, but I did like the what you said. One of the guys said, "It's not UK, you know."
Yeah.
I just thought
the funny-
that had to go in. It sums up the. It's not disrespect, the ignorance of the First Amendment.
Yeah.
And it also highlights how ignorant people are when they turn around and say, "There, I'm in a private setting, you should not be filming me." If you were in the bathroom, yes, you have an expectation of privacy. In your own house, when your windows are closed, your curtains are closed, so you lock the door, you have an expectation of privacy. You created it. As soon as you go out on the street, you have none. I cut out a bit, but there was something else, but I just thought, no, I can't put that in.
So, hey, Grim, when you said when they go out in the public, but that guy, the funny part of it was that guy's mask with the smile and the teeth and the tongue sticking out when he's talking. And it's like, But what he said was, look, you guys have made a oh, what is that? Like a window shopping thing? You guys are actually with this big old window. I forget the
Creating
term that he
goldfish.
used.
Yeah,
Huh?
goldfish, not goldfish. Oh Jesus.
But whatever those are, where they put
Yeah,
mannequins out in front of like a window shopping dressing
yeah,
thing.
Display,
yeah, exactly.
yeah. Well,
It's
yeah,
exactly what they did. It's like they
honestly,
invited that in.
yeah, they want it. That's they have the big windows because they want people to see inside. And for some reason, as soon as a person stops looking and puts a camera up, they freak out. But you wanted
And
people, you have the big window because you want people to look in there.
I'm surprised that girl didn't go when he said, well, look at all that makeup you got, that she didn't do that snap in the Z formation and go, oh, no, you didn't. You know, because she should have been giving him a
That.
card and saying, come here and get your stuff done.
Yeah.
She should have been advertising.
That's where wit, intelligence will always outsmart the dumb wits of this world. Because you created that so people can see in, so that you can attract people in. What's the difference between us holding a camera to view it, to disseminate it to the public, which might generate more business for you?
Yeah.
But you come out with an attitude saying you can't do this, and you've got a so-called solicitor, a lawyer, who doesn't even understand the Constitution. Okay, whatever. But
Every once in a while, you'll see a smart shopkeeper who will come out and they'll go, "Well, hey, you want to come in and get a better look?" You know, stuff. Those
Yes.
are people that,
Yes, and that's what they should have done,
yeah.
but they didn't. But anyway, that, ladies and gentlemen, is the reason why I wanted to do tonight. We got offside track with a few other things, which I'm not saying wasn't important, but introduce another thing and Jesus, his name's disappeared from memory at the moment. It'll come to me. Strictly, yeah. Strictly, thank you for coming up and giving your different viewpoints and contradictions at the same time. It did lead to an interesting show.
Yeah.
Thank you. Muxter, thanks for coming up. I hope you come up again sometime on some of these, because sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's serious, but today was funny. Fallen, as always, thank you for nipping up and joining in the
Thanks, Graham.
Yep, thanks.
So anyway, gents, thanks very much for coming up. I'm going to call it there. I don't have an end show on this one video because I never put it in. So I shall see you all again very soon. And don't forget, you want some good music, go over to the missuses and listen to that. And if you really want to hear some really good music, no, I'm joking. See you again soon, guys. Take care. Bye. And to everyone in the chat, ta-ra.
It's all good.